Taylor played golf on so I run golf days. The England football squad and the Australian football squad lifestyle World Cup. We sold games in for 15 years, and Jason Moore, Shane Rutherford had a good management for weeks.
Jake Litos. Wearing 8, Matt Mills. And 91, Hassan Mahmoud. And now, this is how your team line up today, the Hampshire Hawks. Wearing 15, Toby Alberts. Your captain, number 14, James Vince. Number 5 is Joe Weatherly. Wearing 21, Ben Mays. Number 30, Tristan Stubbs. Number 35, Hilton Cartwright. 26 is James Fuller. Number 44, Scott Curry. Wearing 17, Andrew Neal. And his emphatic sensation, number 25, Chris Wood. And 95, Sonny Baker. So those are your two teams that are on good umpires for this match of Ann Harris and Tom Lunley, match referee Simon Hicks, scorers Fiona Newham and Lorna Holt.
You know, they've got some players here. National duty, they've got franchise experience. Obviously, you've got, you know, Kent have also got that experience with Sam Billings, especially, and Joe Denley, who have played numerous games. We're doing on the morning match, the women's match, AJ Wellington, the ex-Australian spinner who now plays for Hampshire. She has tattoos for every club that she's played for, and I was looking earlier, and I think that Sam Billings has played for 18 franchises, plus you know, Kent. So, and Joe's played for 12. So, you know, if those guys, actually James Vince, you've got to include him in that as well. And if they were tattooing themselves up with the sides that they played for, they would have no room.
Yeah, we joke with well, it's not actually a joke, but Sam has this incredible record of being in franchises that won all the major tournaments around. So IPL, 100, T20 Blast, Big Bash, International League. I think I'm missing out 2 or 3, but I mean, it is an incredible record those sides he's been a part of. So but as you say, James Vince as well is one of those players that goes around the world, dazzles wherever he is, and dazzled against Kent, didn't he, at Canterbury?
He did,
and found himself on the losing side.
Exactly, on that losing side. He got 84, didn't he, off 46 balls in that match. Rapid innings, and it's showing the way as far as cricket's concerned. You know, all right, sometimes we see it crossing over into the test match scenario that doesn't always go down particularly well, but cricket's definitely on a fascinating journey, Matt, isn't it, in terms of where it's going. And this match, I think, it will continue to add to the excitement that this growing crowd here at the Utilita is looking forward to seeing. The weather's been beautiful all day. It's blue skies. There's a bit of cloud cover now, but it's just nice white fluffy cloud. So don't expect anything. There's a bit of a breeze. So great conditions. I should say that Sam Billings won the toss and that Kent Spitfires decided to bowl, which is exactly what Hampshire women did earlier. Georgia Adams won the toss and she decided to bowl, and that came off well for them. So it's Kent a chasing side, or do you think it's the conditions?
I think what Sam Billings said at the toss, very much looking at the pitch, that he thought there'll be wear through it basically. So but looking to get some of the take advantage of some of the green on top of the pitch perhaps to start. But as you say, sometimes it's the feeling of the captains more than the state of the pitch, isn't it? It's only 40 overs, and if you are a chasing side, so they didn't chase particularly well on Friday, I have to say. So he's obviously balanced those two things up and decided to make that decision. I won't try and second guess him, certainly. Tawanda Mayeye is back for Kent. Now, he hasn't played for the Spitfires for a month after a head injury, and which obviously very concerning. He's been out that long for it, but has been past fit to play, so he will open for Kent when they bat. And also Hassan Mahmood, who had an incredible debut, the Bangladeshi fast bowler for Kent in the Championship, taking 9 wickets against Lancashire and part of 2 winning sides, has now made himself available for the last 3 games of this as well. We thought he'd be away with Bangladesh, so it'd be fascinating to see. He's a T20, he's an international player as well. He's played 26, there we go, for Bangladesh as well. So this will be fascinating as well to see his first bowl in the T20 Blast. So
and he's taken 70 wickets in the BPL as well at a strike rate of 19. So he's definitely playing. It's a strong addition to the Kent side as the Hampshire batters and the rest of the team walk down the stairs here, ready to go through the flags that have been waved by the school children here at the Utilita. The Kent fielders, fielding side, are already down there in their little dugout. You can see Sam Billings with his white gloves on, jumping up and down. I should give you the Hampshire team, actually. It's Alberts, Vince, Weatherly, Ben Mays, Stubbs, Cartwright, Fuller, Curry, Andrew Neil is in for the international bound, Liam Dawson, Chris Wood and Sonny Baker. So there's some pace there. Chris Wood's bowled well recently. Took 2 for 33 against Kent when Kent won, and took 3 for 23 before that against Yorkshire. And he obviously knows his conditions well. So it's going to be a fascinating matchup, Matt.
Yeah, it will be. Kent then with, I said, those 2 changes. It's Chris Benjamin and Keith Dudgeon who miss out with Mayeye and Hassan coming in. So a bit of a different balance to the side as well. But it's Mayeye, Bell Drummond, Crawley, Billings, Denley, that's Joe Denley, Harry Finch, then Stewart, Rogers, Lintop, Milnes and Hassan. Only 2 overseas internationals, overseas players allowed, aren't they, in these T20 sides? So Keith Dudgeon is the one of the other 3 to miss out for Kent.
The Kent side assembling on the side. There'll be a huddle, you would assume, that Sam Billings is going to lead. They seem to have done that as Billings now leads the Kent side through the flags, followed by the rest of his hopefuls today. Quick jog for Billings, the sideways jog, the other way. He's got everything, hasn't he? The man. Isn't he doing a tour of golf courses as well around the country, I think?
He's all energy. He can't keep him still, to be honest. So as anyone who's watched any franchise cricket will know, he's vocal, he's demonstrative with his field placings. Even if he's moving a fielder a foot, he'll be shouting, he'll be waving like an air traffic controller. So, yeah, he is all action. But as you said with James Vince as well, these two players captaining these two sides, there's nothing they don't know about franchise cricket or about T20 cricket. So a great match-up once again. Kent will take heart, obviously, from having beaten Hampshire in the reverse game, but they'll take very little from Friday, apart from wanting to get home from New Road pretty quickly, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I was talking to Daniel Bell-Drummond earlier, and he was saying, exactly that chastening defeat, not something that they were expecting, certainly the manner of that defeat, but here's a great chance for them to get the show back on the road again, and it will be Toby Albert who's going to face the first ball.
It's Tom Rogers, it looks like, from the far end, the Aussie.
Yep.
He's played for both of the Melbourne franchises, well known in the Big Bash. He's been a top wicket taker a couple of times in his history, so we'll see what happens here. Crawley is the only slip for Kent, and the outfielders are deep backward square, that's Harry Finch, and deep third, that's Hassan Mahmood. With a shock of dark hair, looking forward to seeing what he does in the T20 after his exploits in the red ball game. We're used to the countdown by now, aren't we?
We are, exactly.
So many World Cup games now. Here comes Chris Temple, thank you. Here is Tom Rogers then from the pavilion end, then bowling, cut away beautifully. First ball there by Toby Albert, and that will be 4 runs. And didn't look like a terrible delivery, maybe a touch full, a touch wide, but Albert has just cut that away at speed. The outfield, I guess, as befits the fact that it's not rained on this surface or any surfaces in the southeast for a long time. It's pretty quick as well, Sanjay.
Yeah, it's certainly in the morning game. Anything that was along the deck, there was absolutely no chance of stopping it. Up in the air, actually, it plugged, which was interesting.
Here is Rogers then, second ball of the innings to Albert, play and a miss. That one's moved a little bit from what we can see here. Billings taking it low. He's a long way back for Rogers. He's not sneaking up the stumps just yet. Decent carry, but coming a little bit back at the right-handers off stump with a play and a miss, second ball. So after all the fanfare, suddenly it's gone to a hush.
Yeah, just a lovely lull.
It is, yeah. Cricket conversation going on. Just a murmur, but
shouts of encouragement from the crowd.
Indeed so. Here he comes, Rogers then, in his dark blue and maroon Spitfire shirt. Just dropped into the offside. It's a yes, no, thank you, no thank you. James Vince didn't look like he was entirely committed to that. Toby Albert asked him, and there's a no. And it's actually picked up by Tawanda Miye at cover, or coming in from point, actually. So it's a dot ball there. So 4, we've had, and a dot... 2 dots rather from Tom Rogers. Said the Aussie himself has had injury problems. We're talking about Tawanda Miye coming back in the side after a month, but has not played as much of this series as certainly as Kent would have liked. He's a good all-round cricketer, biffs the ball hard, left-handed bat, and a great fielder as well. Looking for the ramp here. It's a scoop in the end. That'll be 6. It will. That's gone way over the rope, over the wicket-keeper's head. Got into position early, picked it off a length, Toby Albert, and has scooped that way over the heads of slip and wicketkeeper, and that is a maximum.
He got himself into position really quickly there, Toby Albert, and Tom Rogers obliged by pretty much putting the ball exactly where he wanted it to go, and extravagant follow through as well, and a 6. Great start for Hampshire, 10 without loss after 4 balls.
Yeah, looks like he had actually just gone short of a length there, or just, I thought he'd gone a good length, but whatever, it was deposited straight back over his head.
That's prompted a few fielding changes now from Sam Billings. He's changed the 2 fielders outside the ring around. Mahmood's come in.
Yeah.
And
so will he go shorter now, I wonder, Rogers again? But yeah, he's brought fine leg and third into the circle. As this is pushed back with respect by Albert to Rogers, having scooped him for 6 last balls. 10 off the over so far.
And he's moved Harry Finch round from fine leg to deep square leg. So I think Toby Alberts might know what's coming.
Yeah. It'll be see how he goes here. But yeah, otherwise, still a slip in. Zach Crawley. So brings out the toss. There might be a bit of movement early on this pitch. Hence wanted a bowl on it first. Rogers steaming in now to Albert and has cut that away deftly, but will only get a single. It's fielded by Jake Lintop, throws that in, and that will be the end of a productive first over. 2 boundaries off it and a single. 11 for none then. The Hampshire Hawks in the first over here on BBC 7, BBC Radio Kent.
Zach Crawley's the first slip I've seen all day. There was not a slip in position. There were a couple of interesting positions for both sides, actually. There were these sort of short thirds, kind of gully kind of positions, very close to each other, that were kind of catching, but also kind of not. So Zach Crawley's the first slip. It's the first chance for Kent fans to see Hassan Mahmood wearing the what do you call it? Blue and what?
It's dark blue and maroon.
Dark blue and maroon.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the official
it's the red on the sleeves. Yeah,
yeah, that's the maroon. He's coming in now to bowl 2. Toby Albert over the wicket bowls. It's on the leg side, sort of short, and that's just clipped into the leg side by Albert. There was a consideration for 2, but James Vince decides it's about time that he had a little look at the ball, and they stick for a single. Albert moves on to 12, and so does the Hampshire total. So Hassan Mahmood, I assume he's played with Billings somewhere. Is that how it came about?
There in the BPL, Justin Kemp, former Kent player, coach there. Yes, recommended Hassan to Kent. They had a look at him over this summer. He was doing some rehab, in fact, with them at Beckenham for a spell. And yeah, it all added up. And as I said, he's really hit the ground running for Kent so far with that 9 wickets against Lancashire in the first game he played, which was a great win at Blackpool in the Championship, and playing a part in the win against Middlesex the next game as well. So different game this, but as you said, he's got plenty of experience.
He has a couple of false starts for Hassan Mahmood. He's attempted a run up twice now, and Vince has moved away. I'm not sure
what's going on here. They're looking across the ground staff. The ground
staff are wandering over to the hotel end where we are, which is the end that Hassan Mahmood is bowling from. I'm going to attempt not to disconnect myself from the box and move and see what's happening.
Sanjay's doing this without a safety net, I have
to
say.
There's health and safety's gone out the window here. The umpire's pointing to... Now, I think it's a flapping cover.
Okay, that would make sense. Yeah,
that's moving around in the wind. It's kind of detached itself. It's the cover. They've got temporary seating up here at the Utilita for the T20 International that's on, I think is next week. And so therefore they've covered some of that to extend the sight screen behind the bowler's arm at the hotel end. And that has come detached. So rather than like a large parasol flapping in the wind, this is what this thing is doing. So the ground staff have run over, and they're going to try and tie it back up again. So that's my gardening word by Sanjay Murthy for you.
He's got the
parasols. It's
so it comes to a full stop. James Vince is going to face his first ball of the match, isn't he? And he wasn't having it, to be fair. I completely understand that from his point of view. Not wanting anything to distract him.
No one needs a flapping parasol in the wind when you haven't faced the ball so far in a match that Hampshire will look to do well in. Obviously, they've played 8-1-6 so far, 24 points. So after this, they've got 3 left. Kent have got 2 left after this.
Yeah, and
16. They're just sort of 4 points shy of Essex, as you said. That defeat at Worcester really didn't help.
Yeah, and Surrey and Essex are together 4 points above them, I think. But
they're both
on there,
20,
and then Hampshire 4 more points, one more win. So, yeah, you could say it's mathematically possible they could get through with 6 wins and 60
Yeah.
defeats. It's very unlikely. I think they really do need to win all 3 at this point.
Two
Here's
best of the rest. Hassan in now, 2 Vince on the leg side, and they might have hit the pad. Let's see what the umpire gives, but they've run through for a single, not considering a second, and the umpire doesn't give anything. So Vince is off the mark in his first ball with the parasol issue having been fixed. Hampshire 13 without loss. Yeah, so the top 2 of each 3 groups, isn't it?
Yeah,
the top through
by rights. Yeah, and
then the 2 of the best of the rest. So.
And it's quite possible, looking at, I think, the middle group, the Midlands group, that the 3rd place team haven't got many points, and it could be the 3rd in the South East group. But yeah,
Hassan again bowls slightly shorter on the leg side, and Albert just tucks it into the leg side where Daniel Bell Drummond runs round and fields just for a single. Albert moves on to 13, and Hampshire Hawks are on 14 without loss. Yeah, that's
sorry, it's the North group I'm talking about, but these are ifs and buts at this point. Obviously, there's a lot of cricket to be played. So
I think win what's in front of you and let the match to itself, I guess, is the way forward. So Hassan Mahmood, short, wiry, he's going to skid it through, you would think, on this surface, as he's in now to James Vince outside the off stump, and Vince sort of gets the bottom end of the bat really there, and it goes straight to the fielder at Harry Finch, who's just at a gully behind square on the offside kind of position, backward point, you would say. The 2 fielders were in the power play, so the 2 fielders who are outside of the circle, one is at 3rd and one is in the deep square leg boundary. That is where they've positioned Tawanda Muyeye, as Hassan comes in again now, Mahmood, for his 5th ball of this over. Bowls outside the off stump, and just an inside edge, doesn't move his feet there, James Vince, and it just goes through into the offside where it's fielded by Tom Rogers, and they go through for a single. Vince moves on to 2, and Hampshire Hawks 15 without loss.
Good start from Hassan, this, isn't it? I think he must have got a bit of movement there as well, as you say, because Vince just on the inside edge there, not quite. Well, not middling that one. So I wonder if he's just getting a little bit of movement in. Goes back to his mark. It's very thoughtful, a return to his crease. I have to say, Hassan, nothing hurries him. He just walks back very calmly to it, but almost like out of the pace of a normal T20. And
he comes in again for the last ball of this over. Bowls. It's full and it's driven inside edge. Bowled him. That's the end of Toby Albert. He's got through him. Has Hassan, that's the end of Toby Albert. He's gone for 13. Hassan Mahmood gets the wicket, and Hampshire lose their first wicket for 15.
What a start from Hassan Mahmood, as he did, as I said, in the county championship for Kent as well. He's got that, looked like it clipped leg stump to me as well. I'm not sure if he's got an inside.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I thought he hit it first.
But yeah, he's gone for 13.
Gone for 13, Hampshire 15 for 1. That brings Joe Weatherly to the crease for his 100th Vitality Blast T20 Blast match. Congratulations to Joe Weatherly for reaching that milestone. He's got 2,500 runs in that time, so he comes in early. He's on a bit of form. 32, so what I'm talking about, 24 against Kent, and 63 before that of 33 balls against Yorkshire. It's just full and straight.
Absolutely, and
Toby Albert just played down the right line and wrong line. Bit of swing. Nothing was too full to do anything off the pitch. And good start. Good start by Hassan Mahmood.
I'm not saying this is any way an omen, but when I arrived and looked up and he was bowling on the outfield, the first ball he bowled, he was bowling at a single stump with a glove in front of it, hit the glove. So there we go. He's obviously trying that Yorker length has worked out from this time. So great delivery. And yeah, once again, he really has announced himself to the supporters of Kent in the most spectacular way.
And how did he do in his championship match? You can tell me in a minute.
He's done really well in the 2 he's played so far. Milnes, who's also doing really well in the championship, bowls to Vince. Doesn't quite time that. Off the back foot, driving it up to mid-off, and it's fielded there by Daniel Bell Drummond. The deep fielders are, as they were before, more or less square, or just backward a square on the on and off side. That's onside is Harry Finch, offside to Wanda Muyeye. So, he's looked good. Took 9 in the match, including a 6 in his first game against Lancashire. This one's dropped into the offside. It's a leisurely run through. James Vince just almost push and run. Jake Lintott scampers in from cover, but there's no way he's going to stop that. They'll take a single. So yeah, it's done really well, and been part of 2 wins for Kent as well. They're going great guns in the championship at the moment. So
he looks like one of those skiddy bowlers that's quicker than you think.
Yeah, but and exactly what I thought first time I see him. But he's deceptive. He can get lift as well, which which as I said, as you say, he's not the tallest.
No,
he's not a big unit like Tom Rogers is coming from the other end. I hope that's not a derogatory thing to say about him. He's a big muscular fella, but yeah, can get a bit of lift just back of a length as well. But here is Rogers now. But on to Weatherly, just feathers at that one. I think he's trying to push that down through third. Doesn't look a great looking shot from a ball just back of a length. It's Milnes, beg your pardon, not Rogers.
It's confusing, isn't it? I mean, like in the olden days, you'd bowl more than one over.
Yeah, well, I should know this from Kent. Is Sam Billings does like to rotate, but another man in rich form as well, Matt Milnes, with the ball at the moment, is Kent's highest wicket taker in this competition. Has taken a 3 in 3 of the last 4 games as well. Bowls to Weatherly, hits straight back at the bowler, half parry. And Danny Valdraman picks this up at mid-off. So another dot ball, which is good news for Kent. 16 for 1 then in the third, with the loss of Toby Albert in the previous over.
What else can we expect bowling-wise? Grant Stewart obviously is going to bowl, and Lintott
and Denley if needed as well with his leg spin. This is Milnes now, wideish of the crease, driven by Weatherly. He'll get runs for that. Didn't think he timed it. He's timed it well enough, and that has scooted past Grant Stewart. I thought Stewart was favourite to get there, but deceptive. Hit better than I thought. My apologies, Joe Weatherly. That is very much for Hampshire Hawks on 2.
I'm not sure you're wrong, because, again, with the earlier game, there's a number of those shots that weren't timed particularly well, but because it's so dry, it's just run across the surface, and the fielder really had no chance in any occasion.
We'll get on very well if you keep saying I'm right occasionally, Sanjay. That's brilliant. Driven, that's a much better shot, but stopped by Denley. How much has that hit him? How much has he... Yeah, that's hit him on the ankle, I think. Joe Denley, that is hit absolutely fiercely by Weatherly, and Denley is... Goodness me, I don't think he can't put weight on his foot. It's hit foot or ankle, and he is in a lot of trouble, Joe Denley, out there in the covers. Absolutely scorching that one, that cover drive. And, Denley needs to try and recover from this if he can. He'll be hoping, and the physios will be hoping, his teammates will be hoping. It's just an impact.
When you're 40 years old, also, getting lumped one on the ankle isn't going. Let's hope there's nothing, damage-wise. It's just a knock. The physio teams are out there now just attending to him. Yeah, just going back to what I said before, I mean, clearly... I need to point out the things that don't go well for you as well, because I kindly pointed out Matt Milnes on the screen to you.
Yeah, I know you did.
Well, I should have just gone, come on, Matt, it's Matt Milnes.
Got me out of a hole.
Tom Rogers.
There we go.
So it's clearly one thing. The Hampshire batters are showing some concern here, because Weatherly and James Vince have wandered over to Denley just to see, and they're calling for some urgent sort of waving of his hands by Zach Crawley. I'm not sure who they were calling for. Who's the 12th?
Physio's already out there.
The physios are out there. They're taking Denley off.
Yeah.
I think they're calling for 12th to come on. Is that a lump on his leg? That is a lump.
Goodness me.
There's a huge,
my goodness.
Huge lump on Joe Denley's leg, on the side of the calf on his right leg. That is... the good news is he's walking off. Now that's huge. That's like a potato. It's not an egg.
Yeah.
And Denley's in a lot of trouble here. Now, what does that mean, substitution-wise? What are the rules in Vitality Blast? Obviously, a fielder's going to come on now.
Yeah, I don't think it can't be replaced. I don't think.
No.
I mean, it can be replaced by a 12th.
Yeah, but
12th
not
fielding, but not batting.
Not batting.
Goodness me, he's in.
He was in a lot of pain, Joe Denley.
Yeah. Trying to see who will come on for him. Ekant Singh is in the squad, who's a very able fielder. Fred Clarkson as well, not picked today.
They certainly Zach Crawley waved somebody on.
It's Ekan Singh.
It's
It's
Ekan
five,
Singh,
yeah,
yeah.
5 in his back going into the covers there.
Yeah.
Good young cricketer all round, but real concern. Denley can't put any weight on that. You can't see how he can play any further part, surely. No, he is in all sorts of trouble, Joe Denley. That is I'm sure Hampshire fans will think that could be an advantage for them, but
we wish Joe all the best.
From a neutral's point of view, obviously,
recovery.
yeah, and from Kent's point of view, we hope he's back very soon. He's going for the dugout.
It is from the pavilion, from the Hilton Hotel Inn. Hassan Mahmood, who comes in again, bowls to James Vince, who tucks onto leg side. They were going to go for a single, but quickly in off the boundary comes Zach Crawley to prevent that. And Hampshire Hawks move on to 21 for 1 with Weatherly on 4 and James Vince also on the same scores. Bowled well so far, Hassan Mahmood. He's five runs off the first over, with just taking obviously the wicket of Toby Albert. And originally we thought there was an inside edge, but just played down the wrong line and took his leg stump out. He's in again, now bowls and onto the back foot goes Weatherly and just tucks it into the leg side, where again Crawley comes in the fields and yet another single. So line stump to stump so far from Mahmood. I think we saw that, didn't we, from Tom Rogers? If you give the batters any width on this pitch, it's going.
Yeah, first ball went like a rocket cutaway, didn't it, from Albert? But Hassan, nagging length at the moment. And as we saw with the dismissal of Albert, prepared to go full. And he's deceptively quick, I'd say, as well, Hassan.
In now to James Vince, who gives himself some room and just cracks it through the offside. Stand and deliver. You heard the sound probably in our effects microphone. And Ekan Singh, who's just come on the pitch, the first time he's touched the ball is to basically get it back from the edge of the advertising hoardings, and James Vince moves on to 8 and Hampshire Hawks on to 26 for 1.
Yeah, hit like an absolute tracer, as you say, wasn't it, through the offside, James Vince. The rope is in quite some distance. It's on the left-hand side. The pitch is over to the right as we look from the north end here.
And he comes again, approaches the crease, bowls. This time it's chopped away, and it's another boundary. A tumbling attempt in the slip area by Grant Stewart, but back-to-back boundaries for James Vince. He's motoring. I suggest he's picked up the line, the length, and the pace of Hassan Mahmood here.
You're absolutely right. So Hassan, who bowled accurately and on a length as well, on a full length in his first over. Now he'll need to adapt because James Vince has, as you
in now to Vince, and again on the back foot, he's cracked it, and this one's gone straight to Ekan Singh, who's fielded it, a little fumble, but nothing of any consequence, and that's a rare dot ball from in this Hampshire innings, and 30 for 1 still. Weatherly on 5, Vince on 12 is the last ball of the second Mahmood over. What does he do? Well, you don't know because you haven't seen him play blast cricket before. Is he going to bowl through? What do you think? It's a 2 and 2. We're going to find out, I guess. In not long, as he comes in with the final ball of his second over, it's shorter, and Vince tucks it into the leg side where there's a bit of a gap, and Daniel Bell-Drummond has to put the afterburners on to make sure that Vince and Weatherly didn't come through for a single. They didn't really want to anyway. Hampshire Hawks finished the fourth over, 31 for 1. Weatherly's on 5 and James Vince on 13.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Sam Billings does as far as death bowling. I'd imagine he'll want Rogers to bowl 2 at the end. He's only bowled 1 so far. It may well be that it keeps Hassan back for that time as well, with the start he's made. We're going to have Grant Stewart. I've kept my eyes on the far end this time, Sanjay, to make sure I know which bowler is bowling.
Yes.
Apparently, I gather that's part of the job.
Well, apparently so, yeah. You can't just rely on me all the time.
There's not very many variables, are they? So 31 for 1. It's going to be one of the 11.
See cricket, talk cricket.
So here is Stewart then for his first over from the pavilion end, and this is driven actually inside part of the bat. James Vince, look down his glove there. Maybe the bat has just twisted his hand because it's inside part of the bat up to mid-on, not hit cleanly, and that'll be a dot ball to start. Grant Stewart, who took 4 wickets, didn't he, in that game at at Canterbury.
Yeah,
It's a big wicket
4
taker.
for 32.
And then he's between these two sides. So second ball of his first over just drops into wide open spaces on the leg side. In fact, Stewart is probably the closest to it, but Harry Finch gallantly gallops in from square leg to field, and they'll take a very comfortable single.
It's quite good for Sam Billings, isn't it, having Daniel Bell Drummond in the side as well. Daniel, the club captain.
Yeah.
Captain's the red ball side, so there's basically 2 captains on that pitch, which helps.
One to talk to the bowlers, one to shout from this end as well. It's Stewart. Then as whether he comes down the pitch. Did a bit of pace off that one, maybe stuck in the pitch a little bit, but just a nudge up to mid-wicket there. Crawley throws in and a single taken, but they're looking, I won't say tentative, but they're certainly giving the ball a lot of respect at the moment, these Hampshire pair. I know Vince hit 2 fours in the previous over, but it doesn't look like this pitch is that easy to get going on. Stewart then to Vince. He drops that into the offside, and Kent prepared really to let him have that single. I don't think there's much they could have done to stop it, but Jake Lintop fields that point.
This is very reminiscent of the first game, where there's pretty much what happened. There were big gaps in the field for singles, and Lancashire Thunder just didn't really accelerate.
Right,
they didn't get past the dropping it into singles, and Hampshire bowled line.
Stewart then bowls to Weatherly. Full delivery, that one. Clipped off his toes, backwards to the square. Single to Harry Finch, number 72 for the Spitfires. Throws it into Sam Billings, the wicketkeeper. Yeah,
bowled very, very much, stump to stump, line and length, and therefore couldn't get it going, Lancashire Thunder. And when Hampshire came into bat, they started off like this, but actually then did accelerate in the second half. So I assume this is what the men are going to do. It's
flicked behind square down a fine leg, and that'll be a single. So it'll be 5 singles after a dot ball there. Conservative, you say, in the power play, but obviously if James Vince isn't blazing at a tour ball, it's not that easy a pitch to get going on. 36 for 1.
I think value comes from after you're in. It's one of those pitches where I think you just need to assess the pace, assess where you are at it, and then once you've established a bit of a platform like Vince has now, he's 16 or 14 balls, at some point he's going to say to himself, right, it's time to tee off, because I can see what's happening, I can get a feel for the pace, and I can then start to give it some hoolie, as Matt Mills has changed ends as bowling from the Hilton Hotel Inn. Bowls, and it's cracked away. 1 bounce for 4, James Vince. As I've just said, he's getting to grips with this pitch. No foot movement. It was a length ball, stand and deliver, and Vince moves on to 20, and Hampshire move on to 40 for 1. 4 overs gone, so they're going at a run rate of 7.7 currently. Decent start by them. Vince looks like he's wanting to get something large today. Let's see if that's how he continues, as Mills in again from the hotel end. It's short. Oh, and it's a big heave across the line by James Vince, and the ball ends up at backward point, gully sort of area for no run. I think it hit his thigh pad. That was agricultural.
Yeah, no shout at all from Matt Mills. Just happy to have beaten James Vince rather than having him carted into the stands, I'd imagine, at that point.
Because that was going over the temporary seating on the leg side into the burger vans. If he got hold of that, James Vince, as Mills in again, he gives himself some room, and this time he does flick it onto the leg side, but Tawan Muyeye is out there at backward square leg, and he fields it for a single, which brings Joe Weatherly onto the pitch. I think Sam Billings wears white gloves because he wanted to be like a traffic warden, or sort of one of those, like if you go into Southeast Asia or Africa, the police have all got white gloves to drive the traffic around. I think that's what he does.
Calls attention.
Because he moves his fielders around once more. As Mills comes in leg side and just pulled onto the leg side by Weatherly, a dive by Yeye. He doesn't get there. That ball goes for 4. Second for the over as Weatherly moves on to 11 and Hampshire on to 45 for 1.
Yeah, indeed so.
Want to get your line right on this pitch. Leg side is no good because it's short, isn't it, on the on the leg side if you're bowling from the hotel end. So anything like that, they've got the 2 boundary riders that are allowed as we are still in the power play on the leg side. But that beat them comfortably as Mills comes in again, bowls. And this is a better ball outside the off stump. And reverence paid by Weatherly as he just drops it into the offside for a single. And he moves on to 12. And 46 for 1, Hampshire Hawks, as we approach the end of the 6th over and therefore the power play. Let's see what Mills does. Vince is eyeing up that leg side. He keeps looking there. It's where the 2 fielders who are allowed outside the circle are positioned, one in front of the square, one slightly behind. Mills approaches again. It's full. It's a great shot through the offside. No need to run. That's the 3rd 4 of this over as Hampshire Hawks get to 50 of 6 overs. Vince is on 25, Weatherly's on 12, and Kent need to have plan B.
We've seen the power from James Vince, but also the finesse there, wasn't it? Just opening the face, running that out, using the bowler's place against him. Superb from the Hampshire captain. 50 for 1. Definitely got a game on our hands. Jake Lintop was already warming up the arm, I think from around about ball 3 of Matt Milnes over there. So he's now deep in conversation with Sam Billings at the far end. The left arm wrist spinner. You don't get many of those in the game, but he's a fascinating prospect. So 50 for 1. I've had a shot across the bows from the Kent office there. It's not traditional Kentish maroon. It's officially cherry red. There we go, on the arms.
Well,
I apologise for everybody.
It's definitely more cherry red. I mean, even from this distance, it's sort of, maroon is much more of your purpley colour.
I've gone old fashioned there. It's the colour on the flag, to be fair, but you're right. I'm not great with the fashions, it has to be said, but cherry red, officially. Lintop then, left arm wrist spin to Weatherly. He's taken him on straight away, over long on, and that'll be 6 runs. Has just lifted him off a length, struck through the shot beautifully, almost down on one knee. And that is 6 runs for Joe Weatherly, and Jake Lintop has been welcomed to the Utilita Bowl.
And he's immediately pushed the fielder back onto the boundary.
Indeed. So 5 fielders out outside the power play. Someone's just nudged. Is it off the pad? No, it's bat from Weatherly. So another single down into fine leg. Tom Rogers fields there inside the circle. So boundary fielders. Actually, are they reassessing now? They are. I'll wait until Sam Billings stops waving his arms. But for James Vince, they've got a deep backward square, more or less mid-wicket, boundary rider on just forward a square on the onside, long on, long off, and a boundary rider on the offside as well, forward a square. This one's just a little paddle. Delightful little shot. They'll just take the 1 in the end. Not sure about that. Maybe they could have pushed the envelope slightly, but Grant Stewart, a decent, accurate throw. They'll just take a single.
Yeah, there's been a couple of times where 2s are on, but decided not to take the risk.
I guess they're early in the innings, aren't they? And James Vince, the captain, running to the danger end, probably thought better of it. Oh, this one has popped off the wicket. Has that got a little bit of lift as well as grip?
He pushed that one through, didn't he?
Yeah, suddenly surprised with a little bit. Came up near his chest, that delivery eventually. Drops down. So dot ball. It's more driven. It's actually spin on that shot. Good stop. That one. And is that Crawley? I think it is. At wide mid-off. Has dived there to stop that one going for a boundary. You can actually see the ball curving away off the bat. Slightly favouring Crawley, that one, but has dived and stopped it. So they've taken 2. But it's 10 off this first over a spin. And that'll be 1 more at least. Just Weatherly flicking that one out towards square leg. Single taken. 11 off the first over outside the power play. And they are 61 for 1, Hampshire Hawks. You're just joining us on BBC Silent, BBC Radio Kent. Toby Albert, the 1 man to go, bowled by Hassan Mahmood, making his debut, the Bangladesh international for Kent, at least in T20 cricket for 13. But at the moment, Joe Weatherly has 22. Captain James Vince looking ominous if you're a Kent fan, and quite brilliant if you're a Hampshire fan, on 26 from 18 so far.
Matt Mills is going to continue from the hotel end. He's gone for 19 off his 2 overs. That's not true. I've done what you did. They've turned it around. They look very similar from up here until they turn around, and I realise it's Tom Rogers who's actually going to bowl from the hotel end. He's bowled 1 over for 11, which he bowled from the other end, the pavilion end. In he comes now, bowls. It's chopped away on the offside by Weatherly, and the fielder is round, and Sam Billings throws down his glove, expecting to be able to throw down the stumps, but he doesn't need to, and they just go through for single, which brings James Vince on to strike here. Tom Rogers. I'm guessing Rogers played with Billings if he played for Melbourne franchises, I suppose. I'm trying to find somebody. There must be someone who's played. I mean, he's played for everybody. So there must be someone who's played with him.
He played for both Sydney franchises, I think.
Did he?
Did Sam.
Rogers up to the crease. It's full and it's cracked off the bat, but fielded and is followed through by by Rogers for no run.
I think he's one of the few overseas players that he's not played with Sam Billings, who's a sort of, travelling scout as well as excellent T20 player.
You would be, wouldn't you? If you're playing, it's like, okay, you can come and play my side. You can come. It's like when you're at school, right? You got the playground, and you got made captain, and you have to pick your. You just don't want to be the last person that gets picked. As Rogers comes in again to Vince bowls, it's outside the off stump, and he's on the back foot. And he's hammered that away for 4. Too short, too wide by Tom Rogers. James Vince goes on to 30. It's the 50 partnership between Vince and Weatherly off just 33 balls, and Hampshire move on to 66 for 1 with 7.3 overs bowled by Kent so far. Cracking shot, James Vince.
Just going back to Sam Billings' scouting abilities, they first signed Adam Milne, the New Zealand quick, who's obviously gone on to play all around the world, when they were both carrying drinks for England and New Zealand. There we are.
Rogers again up to the crease, this time short, and it's a repeat of the shot, slightly squarer. The fielder comes round, decides that Harry Finch is not going to put the dive in. Back-to-back boundaries yet again by James Vince. He moves on to 34, and Hampshire are 70 for 1.
Yeah, no need to tell you how dangerous James Vince is. Already on 34 from 22. This is what he can do as well. Looking to take this game away from Kent early. They've got to find as you say, they've got to find a new plan for.
Difficult to know where to bowl to Vince. If it's full and straight, you're coming up here. Short and wide, you're going square. So let's see what Rogers will do. He's got a couple of balls left in his over. He's gone for 20 already in the 10 balls he's bowled. He's up to the crease. He bowls, and it is straighter. And Vince just gets an inside edge, and they scamper the first one quickly, and they come back for 2 because Daniel Bell-Drummond has got a long way to run from behind square on the leg side, and he doesn't get there in time. That's well run by Vince as he moves on to 36 and Hampshire 72 for 1.
As you say, it's just intelligent cricket, isn't it? He's summed up the risk reward pretty quickly there. Daniel Bell-Drummond just can't get there quick enough. So yes, 72 for 1.
And it's a huge gap on the leg side, isn't there, from where Daniel Bell-Drummond is behind square on the leg side all the way through to the 2 boundary riders. His last baller then is Rogers overs, and Vince climbs into that. Harry Finch should get down. He does. He puts the slide in and he parries it, and Vince comes through for 2. The throw comes in to Rogers, who fields it successfully. End of the over, and James Vince moves on to 38. Weatherly's on 23, and Hampshire are 74 for 1 after 8 overs.
Yeah, 13 off the over, going along pretty nicely here. The overall run rate 9.3. Don't worry, I'm not doing maths on the radio. I can't do that. I'm just taking it off the scoreboard, so I'm hoping that's right.
Exactly. Now, I'm going to try something. I did this successfully earlier in the women's game. I'm going to try and multitask. Let's see how we get on. I was going to have a look and see how the Women's World Cup final is going, because obviously that's on now.
Bit of a game going on, absolutely.
It's a bit of a game. I went to the semi on Thursday. I went to see, and actually the start's very similar. England are batting and they're 39 for 2. And that's pretty much how it was before Nat Shiverbrunt and Heather Knight put that big partnership on. So
perfect timing, that, Sanjay. That's the end of the power play, is it? At Lords, looks like it, through 6, 39 for 2. Yeah, they've had a good World Cup so far, but Australia obviously are somewhat of an opponent. This one's taken on the full by Weatherly. It's Lintott continuing to bowl from the pavilion end. A single run up to Matt Milnes, I think it is. Yeah, who's fielding that long on there. There's a long gap between, yeah, a wideish long on and a very wide long off now. Attempting to go down the ground straight. I hope they hold out that one. It's just nurdled past Vince.
Either the wrong end or he
yeah.
just played the wrong line. It's one of the two.
Yeah, he has, with the wrist spin, the ability to go either way. Lintott. And this one's a quicker, flatter delivery. Vince is trying to whip that away. Swing it past Grant Stewart. Finds him along the ground, back on the square. Single taken. But took 11 off Lintott's first over. So again, there's an expectant buzz around the crowd here, waiting for the next big shot. This is Weatherly. They weren't waiting long. Will that be 6? Might be just over the rope. It is indeed. Just makes room for himself slightly. Has driven that one, almost chipping it through extra cover, and that is 6 runs. Great use of the feet.
It was full from Lintott. There was no spin on it at all, and right in the slot as far as Joe Weatherly was concerned. He just foot to the ball, bang over the offside 6.
82 for 1. Worked away into the offside, this one by Weatherly behind or beside Daniel Beldrum, picked up by Mayeye at backward point. Single taken. So Kent having elected to bowl first here at the Utilita Bowl. Penny for the thoughts of Sam Billings. Just the 1 wicket so far. This is feathered down towards third inside the circle, parried by Hassan Mahmood. They'll come through for a quick single. And that is the end of the over. 84 for 1 then. The Hawks have taken another double figures off the Kent bowling. 84 for 1 now.
Yeah, just going back to that World Cup match, 42 for 2 England are at the moment. We were talking about it in the women's game this morning about Kent being such an interesting county in terms of the players that they've developed, especially in the women's system that now don't play for Kent. Obviously, I have somewhat of an inside track because if you didn't know it before, you know it now that I do a YouTube show with Geraint Jones, and Geraint, it's called Close of Play. I don't know if you ever know that, Matt, but we do.
Sorry, it's called Close of.
It's called Close of Play.
Close
yeah,
of Play, okay.
It's just have a look at it on YouTube. It's great. So Geraint obviously is the assistant coach of the women's side at Kent. So we chat about it quite a lot. We'll talk about this in a second because there's Grant Stewart who's coming on to bowl from this hotel end. It's full, and a big waft across the line by James Vince. Agricultural at best for a player with such class, but he just gets a single from that, and Hampshire move on to 85 for 1. Yeah, we talk about the number of players that have come through. Obviously, Tilly Courtine-Coleman's in the squad. Megan Sturge plays for Hampshire, came through the Kent system. There's quite a few. Is there a view within the county as to why this sort of happens?
I mean, they've got a great pathway. I think that I don't want to go too much back on it because we talked about it a lot in the past couple of years, but they were hugely disappointed with the amount of players that they've produced, not to be a tier 1 county, but yeah, they just have worked on it really hard.
Stuart Full, and that's sort of dug out by Joe Weatherly as he just pulls it down, pushes it down to, he sort of fires a ball in. It's a no ball given by the umpire, must be front foot. Sam Billings also not happy at all with the throw that Mayeye put in. He gave him a glare that even we could see from up here. And the traffic direction is out again. So they took a single, so they're allowed to change the field for this, Kent, and they pushed Milne down to long off. Finch is sort of deep extra cover. There's a couple of boundary riders on the leg side and long on and just mid wicket as Stewart in again bowls and swiveled around does. It's a diving stop. Good stop on the boundary. Finch got hold of that, but a good stop down there. And it stopped. There's a 2, and the umpire's given yet another no ball. So double no balling from Grant Stewart. No balling off a free hit is something I've never seen before. So yet another free hit. So now this time they can't change the field because Vince was on strike already, but
If you're doing a manual scorebook, it's all sorts of problems for you now.
yeah, exactly. That box just isn't big enough, is it? What ball is this? This is the 5th ball. That's the last ball of the Stewart over. Bowls full, dug out nicely by Vince. It was a good ball from Stewart. He looks at the umpire. The umpire's got his hands by his side. He's quite happy about that. And that was actually the wrong way around. And I think we've only had 2 balls of this over now, legitimately. On the scoreboard to our left, there's lots of NBs and dots and dashes. There's like some sort of semaphore that's going on, but there's only been 2 balls of this over. As Stewart in again, bowls short, and on the leg side he pulls it, but it's gone straight to the fielder down there, who underarms it in. Who is that down there?
That's Lintott with the left arm throw, yeah.
It looks very similar to Harry Finch from a distance. Lintott and Finch.
Both great fielders, but yeah.
Similar statures, but Finch is, I know, on the deep point boundary here at the Utilita, where Hampshire are 91 for 1 as Grant Stewart starts his run now, approaches the crease. It's short, slower ball, and just Weatherly just waits for it and just sort of dumps it more than anything else into the leg side, where a fast approaching Zach Crawley gets it back into Sam Billings, and Weatherly moves on to 33. Vince 44. This is a good partnership between these two now building, which is exactly what happened, as I said, before in the women's game, and that was between Adams and Boucher. They got Hampshire over the line. Stewart in. Bowls full toss. In fact, he's pumped it. It was in the air for a long time, but he's got it between Daniel Bell Drummond and Matt Milne, who's on the boundary here at the hotel end. That's gone for 4, and Vince goes on to 48, 2 shy of his half century, and Hampshire are 4 short of 100. With the ball left of this 11th over being bowled by Grant Stewart. Let's see what Hampshire do. There's nothing that Billings is doing fielding wise. He has had a chat with Crawley about something, but nothing changed as Stewart in. Bowls is on just on the leg side, pushes it into the leg side as Vince, and Stewart fields off his bowling. And that is the end of the 10th over, halfway point. Hampshire Hawks 97 for 1 with James Vincent 49 and Joe Weatherly on 33.
I was going to say, up until that full toss, might sound weird to say, but that wasn't a bad over from Grant Stewart. He recovered really well from overstepping twice, and that, obviously, that's terrible for his captain, for his team, giving away 3 hits. But that full toss dealt with by Vince, and it is 13 in the end. So, yeah, 97 for 1 at the turn. I don't want to second guess Sam Billings, because obviously he's played T20 all around the world. I'm not sure he'll be very happy with this at halfway. Having elected to bowl first, he would be looking to get in among the batting lineup early.
Yeah, Hampshire eyeing up 200 here.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, but the only man to go. Rogers bowls to Vince, just swivels on that, helps it down to fine leg, and that is James Vince's 50 from 34 balls. It's a very, very good innings indeed from the Hampshire captain. No more than one might expect. 7 fours in that 50 so far, and leading from the front as he did at Canterbury, scoring 80 odd. Kent will hope for the same result, but say ominous, he's already on 50 at the halfway stage here. Hampshire Hawks skipper, short from Rogers, played conservatively by Weatherly. He's just kept the ball down. Matt Milne's fields backward of square on the onside. Let's take a bit of pace out of that as well as Rogers, the short ball.
I wonder what Hampshire are going to do next, because these two are going well, obviously. Their run rate's 9.6. Ben Mays is due in next, but then after that, you've got the powerhouse of Stubbs and Cartwright. Yeah. And I wonder if they're going to change that order around and bring one of those two, either Stubbs or Cartwright, in next and really put the hammer down.
As Rogers now bowls to Vince and pulls that one away. Hasn't got all of it. Finch will field at mid-wicket. It's a good question. I mean, they don't fit. I mean, the 100's up in the halfway through the 11th over, and it doesn't really feel like they've been putting the foot down at this point. Now, the question is whether on this pitch it's better to have batters who were in, perhaps to, I'd say, cruise exactly, but they're going at a good rate already, up towards 200.
I know, so James Vince is not happy with Joe Weatherly. He wanted a 2 there, Vince, and sort of slammed his bat against his pad when it didn't happen.
Rogers then to Weatherly, short ball. Umpires say it's a wide. Yep, too high for Weatherly. He's a tall man already. And Rogers will go back to his mark. Doesn't share any thoughts with the umpire, just rubbing his brow with his forearm there. He's got a white towel on the back of his dark blue Spitfires trousers, the dark blue shirts, white numbers on them, and cherry red sleeves, lest we forget. Thank you, Liam, in the Kent office. Here's Rogers once more from the pavilion then, bowling to Weatherly, works out into the onside. He's looking to go squarer than that, perhaps into wide open spaces, but gets a single anyway up to mid-on. Jake Lintop just comes in from the edge of the circle to field that one. So one more, and 2 more to come of this over from Rogers.
I suppose with Joe Denley now off the pitch,
yeah,
there's a bowling option less, isn't there?
That's absolutely true. He's you'd have to doubt whether he would play any part with the bat as well, having not been able to put weight on his right foot. Here's Rogers, swung away by Vince through mid-wicket, and that'll be 4 runs. It took a while to get there, actually. As you were saying before, it didn't exactly plug, but just took a few bounces before it got there. But there is a lot of space for Harry Finch to cover there. And from mid-wicket, narrow mid-wicket, 4 more. So regularly just getting at least a single boundary in these overs, and then adding plenty of singles as well. 106 for 1 as Rogers bowls the last ball this over. It's up in the air. Finch could get underneath it. He can't because it's gone for 6. It's over the rope. What a great finish that is. James Vince giving them momentum at the end of that over. He's 61 from 37 balls. Hampshire Hawks 112 for 1 at the end of the 11th over. And this after Captain Sam Billings for the Spitfires had won the toss and elected to bowl first.
There's a conference taking place between Hassan Mahmood and captain on the field Sam Billings and Daniel Bell Drummond, the red ball club captain of Kent. That was a very short conversation because they've elected to bring the Bangladeshi international back on again. He's played, what has he played? 26 T20 internationals for his country, 64 BPL matches, 70 wickets. So he's an experienced campaigner for one that looks so young, and he's got a big job on his hands here. He's already bowled 2 overs, taken the only wicket to fallen so far, and he's got to see if he can break this Weatherly-Vince partnership as he approaches the crease to Joe Weatherly bowls leg side where there is this enormous gap, and they saunter through for a single as Zach Crawley comes in and fires it back into the gloves of Sam Billings, who, yes, Matt, will be I don't know if they had done anything different. You know, it seems to be a win the toss, bowl first sort of mentality today. He probably didn't expect Hampshire to be on 113 after 11 overs with just the platform set, given the fact there's just 1 wicket gone down. But you know, he's got to marshal his bowlers and marshal his team to try and get this back. There's 3 fielders on the leg side who are out in the deep, so let's see if Mahmood can get one short as he bowls. It's full, it's the double bluff, and it's driven nicely by James Vince, and Daniel Bell Drummond comes round and at the second attempt fields it, and just a single as Weatherly's on 36, Vince is on 62, and Hampshire 114 for 1 with 11.2 overs gone. The run rate's now crept over 10 and over, so Hampshire will be eyeing up a couple of hundred here, which will psychologically will be a big barrier for them to cross as Hassan Mahmood in again now. 2 Weatherly bowls outside the off stump, and he flays at it, and it must have bounced just before the fielder at gully, which is that Moyeye, or is that Ikan Singh?
I think it's Ekansh there, yeah. I was just looking at Weatherly's body language. I thought for a moment he thought he was out.
He thought he was out as well. But,
yeah,
that's what I was looking at. He was just resigned, wasn't he, to to being out, and Akansing didn't do anything, so therefore we can deduce that it was not out. He's on 36 and Weatherly, facing up to Hassan Mahmood in bowls. It's outside the off stump. It's wide. Is it going to give it a wide? I think Weatherly's disappointed in the shot that he played there. I think he just wanted to just guide it. There's a big gap between Sam Billings and the fielder, who is a really short third / fifth slip, I guess. Yeah. It's not square enough to be gully. It's a catching position, but as it turned out, Weatherly got nothing on it. So that was a moot point, really, as they're bringing Akansing in to the circle and pushing fine leg back to the boundary as Hassan Mahmood in again. 2 Weatherly bowls. It's full and it's dug out well by Weatherly. This is the ball he bowls, it seems like, because that's how he got Toby Albert out, didn't he? With that leg stump, sort of pretty much a Yorker. And 100 partnership between Vince and Weatherly with that single. Vince has got 60, 37 for Weatherly, 61 balls to bring up 100 partnership. Something that Hampshire needed to do after that early loss of Toby Albert, but they'll be very pleased with what they've done so far. These 2 experienced Hampshire batters, as Mahmood in then to Vince bowls. It's full and it's a beautiful looking drive. He's going to pierce the field. No, well fielded by Daniel Bell Drummond at the wider of the 2 sort of mid off. You'd say virgin cover point mid off, but no single there. And end of the over. It's the end of the 12th over. And Hampshire Hawks, it's 116 for 1. Weatherly 37, Vince 61.
Yes, so Sam Billings turning to Hassan Mahmood to try and pick himself up a wicket. I think looks like he probably would have bowled at the death, but bringing him back to see if he can strike and look good again. He's gone for just 4, but I think Hampshire will be very happy to see another over from Hassan Mahmood away. And they are going. What does the Wasp say? 202, looking like a likely total at this point. But 116 for 1 century between these 2, not going at all the way Kent wanted it when they won the toss. But for Hampshire, looking very good indeed. They're going to put a total on the board. It's going to very much challenge Kent. Lintott comes right round the wicket. That one is gone. LBW has gone for the sweep. James Vince there, and he's looking across at the square leg umpire. I think that was looking at Weatherly.
He's looking at
James
Weatherly,
Vince.
Yeah, so that was a bizarre. Let's have a look on the replay here.
Swept across the line, hasn't he? As Lintott's come for his first, the left arm spinner around the wicket, but he's just turning and looking at James Weatherly. It's going to be Tristan Stubbs coming out in answer to your question next for Hampshire. So the skipper's gone for 63. Yeah, fascinating. Be very interested to see that dismissal again.
Yeah, 63 or 40 balls by James. It doesn't surprise me that they're bringing out Tristan Stubbs here. He's an absolute powerhouse in the middle order. I was doing commentary when they played Surrey couple of weeks ago, and he was batting with Liam Dawson, who got 70 odd in that game, and Stubbs played the secondary role. At no point did he try and sort of supersede his partner who was set, and so I wonder therefore what role he's going to play here with Weatherly on 37. I suspect it's a different role to the one he may have played if Vince had been the one who had stayed and Weatherly was out, but we're going to find out. But this should be exciting for anyone listening, and certainly those watching on the live feed, because Stubbs is an absolute powerhouse. He's he's not played that many T20 matches, T20 blast matches, 7 in total, scored 211 runs. He's got a strike rate of 138, so he's not going to hang around, Tristan Stubbs, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was just looking at that career strike rate, which is large, put it that way, for the 25-year-old South African international. Just looking around the field, Lintott takes a wicket. Looked like a massive one for Kent as well. All the momentum with Hampshire. They'll be home to close the door now, as this one's just run up to mid-on. For Kent, really, it's the old cricket adage, isn't it? Turning 1 into 2 here, because Hampshire have been cruising along at around about 10 and over. And now they have to make it difficult for these 2, force them into risky shots. Lintott then with the first wicket since the second over, a century plus stand for Vince and for Weatherly, who's on strike now. Joe Weatherly goes for that one. Has it come off the non-striker? I think it has. It's skewed away. And Crawley picks up for a single at mid-off. Has that hit Tristan Stubbs?
Yeah, it looks
I
like
think it has. Yeah,
it
at
has,
the far end.
This is an injury-prone match, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's dangerous out there.
We should say earlier,
Yeah.
a shot from Weatherly, wasn't it? Which hit Joe Denley on the leg. You just see when he rolled his trouser leg up, a huge bruise around his shin. Couldn't put any weight on it. We're not necessarily expecting him to bat. I think it would be probably extreme conditions if he was going to come in. But Lintott now bowling to Stubbs. Oh, he's beaten him. All ends up. It's gone through between the ankles, I think, of wicket keeper Sam Billings as it's shot through, and that'll be 4 byes. But there's no doubt about that one. Tristan Stubbs did not know much about it. I think it was byes.
It was byes, yeah. It's I'm trying to watch if it kept low or not. No, it didn't. It just,
yeah. I thought between the ankles, but it's actually just nutmegged.
Yeah,
Sam Billings, the wicket keeper, gets a late sight of it, obviously with a flourish of the bat from Stubbs. But yeah, this is what Lintott can do. I'll be happy for more of it as well. Driven by the South African up to wide mid-off. It's stopped by Crawley for a single. Now 123 for 2.
Important for Hampshire not to let the momentum slip.
Yeah.
With that loss of James Vince.
And for Kent, as I said, that if you try hoping that runs dry up a little bit here, I'll get in amongst them on the back foot. Weatherly plays it late, hence the shout from Jake Lintott, but in the end cuts it to a point. End of the over. They take just a single from that, but 124 for 2 off 13. You'd have to say it's still not looking bad, even with the loss of captain James Vince. LBW to Lintott for 63 in a century partnership with Joe Weatherly, who is out there on 39 at the moment, being joined by Tristan Stubbs.
England have the halfway stage, a 70 for 4 against Australia. Just over halfway, come to the end of the 11th over. It's Heather Knight's just out, so Australia look on top there. So in the second half of that match, the captain Nat Shiva-Brunt is still in. She's on 26, so they need to go some in the second half. Hampshire, let's see what they do in the second half of this innings. They've got 7 overs left. They're on 124. As Rogers in again, bowls to Stubbs, and he pushes it away on the offside, but doesn't get anything off. It's Weatherly, sorry. And the fielder is the bowler, and so Weatherly remains on 39, and Hampshire 124 for 2 more. Hand waving by Sam Billings. Muyeye is being carefully positioned exactly where he wants him, behind square on the leg side, and the fielder here, that long on, is being moved to the right. Zach Crawley is being moved to his right there as Rogers turns at the top of his mark. In he comes now, and on the leg side, and whether he just tucks it in and just a leisurely single as Crawley comes off. Not Crawley, who is that down there? Muyeye comes in off the boundary and fields it for a 1 run to give Stubbs the strike for the first time down at the Rod Bransgrove Pavilion end.
Yeah, Crawley's just wider at the mid-wicket. He's coming in, he's been brought in now, isn't he? So, and then Hassan is pushed out at fine leg to deep backwards square. Everyone goes around 1. I think Harry Finch is now patrolling. What is that now? Jake Lintott patrolling the wide open spaces on the leg side as boundary rider.
Rogers bowls. It's on the leg stump, and that is clipped into the leg side, I think is the right word, by Stubbs, and just another single. Dot single so far in the first 3 balls of this, the 14th over, being bowled by the Australian Tom Rogers.
Yeah, they want to, if they can, Kent, if they can get out of a couple of overs without a boundary being hit, perhaps overs 14 and 15, put a bit of pressure on, but at the moment it's a really good platform for Hampshire Hawks. 126 for 2.
Rogers up to the stumps. Bowls, it's full and dug out quite well by Weatherly. This is good over this from Rogers so far. He's only gone for 2 off the first 4 balls. This is last over. It's 0 for 41 so far. So the previous 3 overs gone for 39. So this represents a good comeback by the Australian, with a couple of balls left to try and get out of his 4 over allocation without too much more damage. Let's see if Weatherly, who's on 40 off 31 balls, has got a different idea as Rogers now approaches the crease. He bowls, it's full, it's outside the off stump, and it's just chopped away by Weatherly for a single. He didn't get much of that, and it's fielded there as the fielder comes in, and that is just a single for Weatherly to take Stubbs on strike for the last ball of this very good boundary now. Big gaps everywhere for Hampshire to take a single if they want to. Rogers in. He bowls, it's short, and he's one of those singles that Kent are quite happy for Hampshire to take. Tristan Stubbs moves on to 4. Hampshire on 128 for 2 off 14 overs, and that run rate, instead of climbing, is now dropping to 9, and Wasp has gone to 194. So whatever Sam Billings and his bowlers are doing, they're clawing this back for Kent.
Yeah, I think the momentum that was lost when James Vince went, they're trying to capitalise on that moment and trying to get another wicket or 2 as well to really slow things down. But I'm sure of other ideas, of course, with Stubbs and Cartwright as well in the middle order, with Weatherly already there on 41 from 32. This is Lintott then round the wicket. The spinner 2. Stubbs goes to the reverse. Shy at the stumps from Hassan. It's well wide, actually. It wasn't that far away, but Sam Billings applauds the endeavour, even though it didn't hit the stumps. I should say 2 other teams in this group are playing right now, Essex and Middlesex. And not for the first time, Kent supporters will want Essex to lose that, and I'd imagine Hampshire fans will probably join in as well, as Essex are chasing in the pack of 4 at the top of the South East group. Hampshire at the very top, won one more game than everyone else. This one's scuffed a little bit by Weatherly, pulling it out towards, or a sweep out towards.
Joe Weatherly seems to have lost his timing.
That seemed to have done, yeah. He's just gone low to try and cart that one away, hasn't he? And just hit the underside of the bat. Lintott to Stubbs. Stubbs trying to size him up, but will take a single up to long on. They may be thinking about a 4 over assault, maybe 5 over assault when it comes towards the end. Just having a look at Lintott here. He's a dangerous man. 131 for 2, so 3 off the over so far. Single, 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 it's gone. Lintott round the wicket once more to Weatherly. Uses his feet well, gets them out of the way, in fact, and drives that up towards Crawley at wide mid-off, and that's just 1 more to the total. Of course, Surrey being beaten substantially by Gloucestershire yesterday in the cross-border matches, or whatever they're called, outside the group, all the way to Gloucestershire. Who'd have thought? All that way to Bristol. Round the wicket comes Lintott, goes very wide, it's up in the air, that's gone, 6! And disappears over the top of the Hampshire Hawks dugout from Tristan Stubbs. Sweet timing of the ball, you can hear it off the bat there on the effects microphone. And that has gone long and handsome for the South African. Yeah, just looking up at it as he hits it. 6 runs.
8 balls, he decided that that's enough. This is what Tristan Stubbs can do. He's a dangerous customer.
Finishing the over with a flourish. He'll hope. Lintott into him again, straight back towards the bowler. They'll take a single up to long on, but they got there 6 for the over, and that's 11 off the over, so they go back to double figures as Kent were trying to pin them down. They're not having it, Tristan Stubbs particularly, as you said, Sanjay, at the end of that over. 15 overs gone. So the death overs to come. 139 for 2. That's a heck of a platform for the Hawks.
That's Lintott bowled out as well. 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 36. So that's Rogers and Lintott bowled out. This looks like, is it Milnes who's going to bowl from the Hilton Hotel end? He's bowled 2 overs, 0 for 19 so far. The run rate is 9.3. His run rate is 9.5. So let's see what Hampshire can do to just stay on top of this, as the rate has dropped. 195 is the Wasp. That's the sort of projected score, if you like. There's 5 overs left. Weatherly's on 43, and Tristan Stubbs, who is going to face up, is on 13. off 9 balls as Milne starts his run up now. Bowls on the leg side, and Stubbs just clips it into the leg side where it's fielded and thrown in for just the 1, and Hampshire move on to 140 for 2, and Weatherly is the man who's going to take strike. What does Sam Billings do with the field? Nothing drastic by looks of things. He's still got 3 boundary riders on the legs, or 4 on the leg side, and 1 square on the offside as Milne's in. Bowls it short, and Weatherly tries to cloth it into the leg side, and that's exactly what he does. And Hassan Mahmood comes in off the boundary, and Sam Billings takes it one-handed above his head, nonchalant, if you like, and what was a pretty ropey throw by the Bangladeshi international, but just a single, and it's single. Apart from that 6 from Stubbs, it's singles all the way for Hampshire at the moment. So I think they've got to look to see what they're going to do as Milnes comes in again, bowls, and this time again not timed by Stubbs. He looks at the bottom of his bat suspiciously as Zach Crawley fields it. He's one of the 3-4 fielders on the leg side who are deep right on the boundary. And yet another single, 3 singles in a row off this over by Milnes. Weatherly on 44, Stubbs on 15, 142 for 2. Milnes then, Weatherly awaits. It's 4 outside the off stump, well bowled. Milnes, good net. And shouts of encouragement now from the Kent fielders. They're sort of sensing that they might have got some sort of foothold back in this game as the run rate drops even further. It's only 9.1 now. Sam Billings must be thinking, this is in my territory.
Possibly.
Yes. Milnes bowls short, pulled by Weatherly, but straight to the fielder. Lintott, who's out there, left-handed, throws it. 1 bounce to Sam Billings, yet another single, just 4 singles off this over. The crowd have gone quiet, Matt.
Yeah, I was going to say, if the crowd go quiet, the first voice you will always hear when Sam Billings is on the field is Sam Billings. He's absolutely, as you say, acting as cheerleader, as conductor, organiser as well for his side.
Last ball is over then for Milnes. Bowls it. Stubbs takes a step outside his off stump and tries to drill it over the offside, but it goes straight down to Grant Stewart, who's fielding here in front of us, just for a single, and that's another overdone. 16 gone. Hampshire 144 for 2. 4 overs left. What are they going to be eyeing up? Certainly the 200 that they thought they were going to get, Matt, is not on the cards anymore.
Yeah, they're hoping for a bit of a counter punch here. Kent win the death overs. Just 5 off that one from Matt Milnes will be exactly what his captain wanted. Just looking at the relative economy of the different bowlers, and it's Hassan Mahmood who's shining once again for Kent. He's done with the red ball, 1 for 19 off 3, by far the most economical, but he'll be hoping that he's got 1 left from Milnes, 2 from Stewart, 1 from Hassan, that they can help keep this total to a manageable one for them to bat against. But Stewart bowls to Stubbs, flays that away through the offside. That's 4 runs as soon as it's left the bat. No apologies to Ekansh Singh. He has thrown himself at that one. He was never getting to it. It has absolutely raced away through the covers for 4.
Yeah, you can't give Tristan Stubbs any width. It was full and wide from Grant Stewart. He's been expensive today. He's gone for 22 already off his 13 balls that he's bowled.
Yeah, he needs to keep it on the island, and he goes down on 1 knee there. That's flicked away for 6, is it?
Shot.
Oh, just inside the rope for 4.
Shot.
He's gone down on 1 knee and has flicked it away. Quite premeditated, that one. I think it is just 4. It's 150 though, up for Hampshire. Great improvisation from Tristan Stubbs, and more to think about from Grant Stewart. You could see the fielders are looking towards Sam Billings. What do he do here, skipper?
That was line and length, that ball from Grant Stewart.
Tom Rogers is the man in the catching position in that case at fine leg. Down the leg side, that'll be a wide. He's taken the pace off there as well, Stewart, but neither has worked, frankly. So Hassan Mahmood is now changing places with Tom Rogers is one of their gun fielders Kent. He's got a great pair of hands, so they're putting him in for, well, if Stubbs goes for, I suppose, a slash outside the off stump, inside the circle at third. This is driven back past the bowler, and that'll be 4 runs. Will it? No, it's a stop on the boundary. Fantastic stuff. Just popped up like a rugby scrum half for Zach Crawley to complete the throw. That might be Lintott down at the far end there.
Finch, one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic bit of fielding. He just rolled, dive, and in one movement just popped it up to Zach.
Yeah. Saved his team 4 there, or 2 extra runs. Already 11 off this over, though, off 3 legitimate deliveries. As Stubbs comes down the pitch, drives it up to it's long on the head. Is Lintott
left-handed?
Yeah, left-handed. He's got that pistol of a left arm, sidearm throw as well into the wicket keeper. They'll take a single. 156 for 2. 2 balls to come. So again, this game swerves the other way. Kent had just gone for 5 off the last over, Hampshire, off Matt Milnes, but this one's in double figures already and 2 to come. That's Weatherly just clips that off his pads to mid-wicket. Harry Finchfield, single taken up to mid-wicket. Stumps back on strike. Doesn't seem to be in there 2 seconds. He's there on 27 off 16. Yeah, his strike rate's up near 160. Almost imperceptibly just going through the gears already with 2 4s and a 6. The South African international. Sam Billings says to Wanda Mieye, come into the circle. Was he going halfway? Oh no. You stop there, Akanch. Bringing Wanda in. Field spread wide open on the leg side with 4 boundary fielders from long off to fine leg. As Stubbs makes himself some room and then tucks it into that gap. They'll take just a single to end the over. Could have been worse, you might have said, for Kent. End of the over then. And it is 158 for 2, 14 off the over. An expensive one, as you were saying, Sanjay Stewart's already been expensive. Took 4 wickets for 32 in the reverse game. But Hampshire have taken a liking to him here at the Utilita Bowl. 158 for 2, and we have 3 overs to go.
3 overs to go. Stewart's got 1, Milnes got 1, and the man who's going to bowl this over, the 18th, is the Bangladeshi international Hassan Mahmood. He's bowled 3 overs, 1 for 19. He's been the pick of the pacers so far for Kent. He's going to be bowling to Tristan Stubbs, who's, as Matt said, is already on to 28 off just 17 balls. Just remarks his guard. Billings obviously is moving the field around a bit as Hassan Mahmood starts his run up now to Tristan Stubbs, who goes for the scoop and he gets it sort of on the bottom of the bat really, and it ends up at first slip kind of area. And who is that fielding at first slip? Matt, can you see?
Is that Matt Milnes just trying to bowl back on? Yeah. But yeah,
and Milnes is in front of us down here.
Beg your pardon. Very much toe end of the bat, that one, absolutely.
It was. Anyway, it was fielded for a single, which takes Stubbs on to 29, Hampshire on to 159 for 2 as Hassan Mahmood approaches the crease. It's full, and sounded good, but a no from Joe Weatherly as he just picks out Muyeye, who's fielding at long on, and it's a single for Hampshire. This is very, very similar to the women's game. Lots of singles in sort of interspersed by a sort of a smatter of boundaries, if you like. And it's probably the way that Kent are going to have to go about it as well, because I think if you are too extravagant on this pitch, then you're going to get found out as Hassan Mahmood in. It's short, and that's just cracked away. There's a fielder there, and it's sort of fumbled in the deep by Lintott. And Stubbs only managed to get a single for that. They're not, don't know if it is Weatherly, but they don't seem to be very keen to pick up 2s on this pitch. I mean, I'm not entirely sure why. I think there are a couple of cases or a couple of instances where 2s would have been the order of the day.
Especially this late stage. You think they've got plenty of batting to come, but
declined. Yeah. 4th ball of this final Mahmood over. in now. He bowls to Weatherly. He's on nice York on leg side, and whether he digs it out this time, they're going to push for 2. But again, they decline is because Jake Lintor is off the boundary quickly and with the piston arm. I did wonder what Matt Cole was going to say when he started off with the first part of that statement earlier, but we got to piston at the end, and I'm going to say it anyway. Just a single for Weatherly. He moves on to 48 of 40 balls. Stubbs 30 off 19. He's facing the 5th ball of this over. The previous 4 balls have gone for a single. In he comes now. Full leg side. That's going to be a wide. Billings gets a hand on it, preventing 4 wides, and the umpire.
It's bat, is it?
It's not given anything.
Yeah, it's come to bat, he's saying, yeah. There was a sound, wasn't there? I thought it had come off the pads for a second, but 163 for 2. And this is a good over from Hassan Mahmood. He's not taking a wicket here, but he's just gone for the 5 singles. Exactly what his captain needed. And whatever else happens in this match, he's had a very good debut with the ball as a Spitfire. Going for around about 6 1/3 in his overs so far, maybe 6 1/4. Watch this go for 6 now.
Final ball of his spell then. In he comes now. Bowls. It's full and cracked away by Weatherly. They are going to push for 2. There is a fielder down here, but no. Yet again, Muyaya gets in quickly, and it is just a single, and Weatherly on 19. Stubbs on 31. Wasp is down at 188 as Hampshire are 164 for 2 at the end of the 18th. And I think Kent are going to go in the happier of the 2 sides, Matt.
Yeah, bit of momentum with that over particularly. Yeah, 1 for 25 from his 4. I think Hassan Mahmood finishing off on his Spitfires debut. The Bangladesh international has certainly bowled well. And we will have... oh, crikey, yeah. Sorry. The Kent officer also sent me a picture of the... Joe Denley's. I think we saw that on the camera, didn't we? Joe Denley's.
Any updates? Do we know? They've got anything?
Not as yet, no. Let's find out what we can. But yeah, awful. Massive lump on his leg after being hit by a drive from Weatherly and limping off the, well, actually just hopping off the pitch. But Stewart to bowl. Last over from this pavilion end, and that has been launched by Joe Weatherly for 6. And that goes over mid-wicket, and he goes to 55 of 42 balls with 2 4s, and that his 3rd 6, along with captain James Vince. He shared the century partnership for Hampshire Hawks, is now hoping to take them to a bridge too far for Kent in terms of a finishing score to chase. Partnership of 54 as well comes up, and Stewart has been expensive, and that will go for a wide. It's a very tall bouncer indeed. As I said, Joe Weatherly is a tall fella, but he's not getting that without the aid of a step ladder.
Sam Billings isn't happy. He's just hurled the ball to Ikan Singh, who's at cover point, all on the ground, mainly in disgust, I think, at that ball from Grant Stewart.
Yeah, I don't think it would be discussed at the decision, because that was ballooning over the head of Weatherly. He tucks this one into the onside up to mid-wicket, and it'll take a single. So 172 for 2. But he's hitting the ball sweetly. All that does, from a Kent point of view, is bring Tristan Stubbs to strike, which is a formidable opponent at this point. But yeah, Stewart going at over 10 and over before we started this one, his final.
50 for Joe Weatherly in his 100th T20 match, second 50 in his last 5 matches, so he's
nice
on
way
good
to bring
form.
it up. Yeah, absolutely. Landmarks all over the place. Stewart to Stubbs, improvises, goes over the head of wicket-keeper Billings, but will be chased down by Rogers, and they'll come through for 2. I'm not sure how to describe that shot. It looked like he's going down for a ramp. He's reversed. He's just sort of scythed it over the head of Sam Billings.
Yeah, I'm not sure if
two.
Grant Stewart did him in anything there, flight, length, line, something, because I don't think that was what Stubbs was expecting, but he was in position anyway, so he had to do something to get bat on ball.
He got enough on it for 2 and rocks into back of his crease. This has lifted for 6. That's the biggest of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, he's huge.
That's gone into the stands, wrote well in, and he's just lifted that off a length, down on one knee, through long leg. And that is now coming back from the concrete stands. The umpires will want to look at that one, I'd imagine, because that may have taken some damage. But that certainly has even more damage to Grant Stewart's bowling figures. 6 more off the Kent seamer. He is hemorrhaging runs at this point. Where are we? It's 14, 15, 16 off the over with 2 to come. And Kent kept it tight with Mahmood in the last over, Hassan, but this one is going. Stubbs wants more here, and he'll get 1 up to mid on. They'll come back for 2. Lintott has no chance to get to it quick enough to stop them, and that 2 is run. They're 182 for 2 now. Could be looking at 200. They'll certainly be targeting it.
Yeah, that last 6 from Tristan Stubbs. If that temporary seating wasn't there for the T20 International, I think the burger mix would have been in danger.
He's threatening everybody with his batting. Stewart then last ball of his spell and bowls him. He goes to the reverse. I think he's bottom edged it onto his stumps. And Stewart, it's the most peremptory of celebrations, just puts the finger up, and that's about it. He realises he has gone for a ton here, and Stubbs has done his job. 41 off 24, the South African. Stewart finishes with 1 for 50, but it's very much victory for Stubbs over Stewart in that final over, despite being bowled for 41.
That's an amazing innings by Tristan Stubbs, because at no point did he actually look like he'd got going. And then suddenly you look up, and I think you said it before, Matt, he was on whatever he was on, but 41 of 24, he's just a man that continues to put vital runs on the board for Hampshire Hawks at a time when they need it. And Hilton Cartwright is the other half of the dynamic middle order duo. He's coming in to face the last over of the match, of the innings, sorry. And it's going to be bowled. Who is it? It's going to be Matt Mills, isn't it? From the Hilton Hotel end. And did they cross? They didn't need to because it was bowled. So it's Joe Weatherly who's going to face up. He's on 56 off 43. Hawks are on 182 for 3 so far. Wasp is at 194.
Yeah, maybe taller. Maybe I was going a bit far, but if Stubbs had hit that last one for 6, then they might have been within the
200.
Well, 18 still possible.
Yeah, still very possible. Let's see what Joe Weatherly can do. The man on the music is certainly excited as Milnes comes in now to start the final over outside the offside, and that's crunched away through the offside, but Harry Finch is there quickly and he gets down and they come through for 2. Good running by Cartwright and Weatherly. Weatherly moves on to 58. Hampshire on to 184. 5 balls left. 190 upwards psychologically is where they want to be. 200 would be an amazingly good score, but maybe slightly disappointed given they were at 97 at the halfway point. But Milnes in now, bowls, it's full, and there's a big slap by Weatherly straight to Ikram Singh as a shy at the stumps, and Weatherly had run so far past that there was no chance of a single because Hassan Mahmood had to field the overthrow coming in off the fine leg boundary. Cartwright was looking for a double, but Weatherly had run past the bowler, and in any case he is probably quite tired after his marathon stint out there. It's still a warm day, a nice breeze here at the Utilita, bit of cloud cover but warm out there as Milnes comes in then outside the off stump and crashed away by Cartwright. Couple of bounces, looking for the spin. Finch making sure it doesn't go past him. He succeeds in that, and just the single taking Hampshire on to 186 for 3. 4 off this over. Pretty good so far from Matt Milnes. Anything that doesn't go for a boundary Matt in the last over, I think the bowling side will be pleased with.
Yeah, if you imagine this is the final over the other way around, if you're chasing something here and the bowler's gone for 4 off 3, you'll be very happy.
Bowls again full and crashed away on the leg side by Weatherly, but Sam Billings has got his field sorted out here. That's gone straight to Tawanda Muyeye, who's fielding long on, and yet again just another single. Weatherly moves to 60 now of 46 balls. He's only 11 shy of his highest ever score in this format of the game. He's not going to get there because there's only 2 balls left, and Hilton Cartwright is going to face one of them. He seems to have taken an interesting stance. He seems to be right in front of his stumps. You know, if you take a guard, you think you take 2. He seems to be, with his bat, seems to be outside the off stump as Milnes bowls. You think he's going to target straight, and reverse sort of sweep by Cartwright, well stopped in the sort of the slips area.
Yeah, that's Rogers. Yeah,
by Rogers, the gun fielder, as you said, Matt. That means just a single for Cartwright, which means Weatherly will face up of the last ball of this Hampshire Hawks innings. 188 for 3 is the score. There's a bit of obligatory field change. Akam Singh is going deep behind square on the offside, and they're bringing in Hassan Mahmood off the fine leg boundary for this final ball of the over. Matt Mills in bowls, and it's wide, and it's given a wide. That's not what Kent wanted. It is what Hampshire wanted, because they get another ball to face. He's just tapping his foot against the ground. Matt Mills suggests there was something wrong with the footholes, and that's definitely the fault of the pitch and not the fact that he bowled one wide down the offside. The crowd are getting into it. Claps to encourage the Hampshire batters. Joe Weatherly facing up for the last ball of the over. In comes Milnes then. Bowls. It's wide outside the off-stump. Slower ball and slapped into the offside by Weatherly. Cartwright's turn for 2, but it's been sent back by Joe Weatherly, which means that Hampshire close on 190 for 3 off their 20 overs. Weatherly finishes unbeaten on 61 not out. Cartwright is there with him on 2. Earlier, James Vince got some runs and continued his great batting form. We're going to be back in 15 minutes to see how Kent Spitfires cope with their chase. I'm going to hand over to BBC Radio Solent.
And I'm going to hand over to Ben Watts in the studio on BBC Radio Kent.
We'll see you soon.
As he leaves the field for 47 balls, we show your appreciation for Joe Weatherly, 61 not out. A reminder ahead of our Thatcher's apple rolling that there is water available from the bars and also from the taps on the end of.
The Thatcher's Family Farm. Making cider with nothing but love and skills. Delivering perfection for over a century.
25 years of flight, the Hawks are back. Come fly with us.
Doesn't even have to run. He's been waiting for the square cut. He plays it beautifully. Nice personal milestone for Robin Smith. He's
in a memorable game, Hampshire have taken this game with 153 batting first.
Right away, Peterson's gone.
Shane Warne once again been quite brilliant. Changed the game. Yes, it does. There it is. That means that Hampshire are the winners of the Friends Provident Trophy 2000.
Hampshire Royals have done it. The scores.
The Southern Vipers have won the inaugural Kia Super League.
100th through early Rousseau, a moment to remember. Been an innings of real quality for Hampshire.
Get themselves over the line emphatically to defeat the reigning champions Hampshire. That's what you've got! That is what you've got! Nothing else! Richard Yorker through past the Bennett Gleeson. Hampshire third. Oh my word! Oh my word! It's the biggest of the lot.
the Thatcher's family farm. Making cider with nothing but love and skills. Delivering perfection for over a century.
"25 years of flight.
Joe Weatherly 61 and out, a rapid 41 from Stubbs. Matt, what do you think Kent's approach to this chase is going to be?
I'm going to have to go steady, as you said. I'm not sure this is one we can go hell for leather. I think without Joe Denley, we don't know the exact. We don't have anything from the dressing room saying that he won't bat. It looked extraordinarily unlikely that he will be back on the field, though. The top 5 are going to have to go some here, and I think that means they'll probably have to be a little bit more conservative than they would have been. Already the balance of the side is quite bowler heavy, so I think they'll have to go steady, as to be honest, as the top 3 did, and particularly James Vince and Joe Weatherly. They got it done, didn't they, without looking like they were thrashing for the boundary. So I think they're just going to have to, they're going to have to judge it as well as they can, but perhaps hold their nerve, particularly in the power play if things aren't going particularly well. Just to say, welcome back to listeners on BBC Radio Kent, DAB. Kent will need 191 to win this one. What do you think about Hampshire's chance of defending it?
Yeah, I think you're right in the way that that Kent will approach their innings. They're going to open with Daniel Bell Drummond and Tawanda Muyeye. So, quite a conservative-ish, I guess, opening batting partnerships. Hampshire will be looking through Chris Wood, who will be opening up from this Hilton Hotel end, and Sonny Baker, plus the other bowlers to really put their openers under pressure. I think Hampshire will feel that they're 10 runs shy, but I think you've got to put the Joe Denley factor in, and he's X amount of runs. So ultimately, I guess that those two balance each other out, and I think Hampshire will be pretty happy with the score that they've got on the board. It's going to be Tawanda Muyeye who's going to face up to Chris Wood. Shall I go first? Is that all right with you, Matt?
Absolutely, Back after a month, I would say, Tawanda Muyeye, and obviously worries about that head injury he had, but just delighted to see him back on the field apart from anything else.
Absolutely. As Chris Wood comes in, left arm over to Tawanda. It's a beautiful looking drive, and that first ball is going all the way along the ground for 4. That's a magnificent start by Kent. I don't know what we said about conservative opening, Matt, but that first ball split James Vince and Andrew Neil, who's the spinner, playing instead of Liam Dawson today, and that's first ball for 4.
I say proper cricket shot.
Who needs to go across the line? Let's see what Chris Wood can do again. Left arm over to Wander, and this time pushes it again very straight, and James Vince fields at mid-off. Hampshire have got obviously just 2 fielders allowed outside the circle now, and they are square of the wicket on both sides, backward point and backward square leg. That's the 2 fielders, and apart from that, they've got to slip in. They've got a short third, a short fine leg, And then just a bit of a ring, as expected, as Wood comes in now to bowl to Daniel Bell Drummond, and it's wide outside the off stump, and he has a little fence at that. Does DBD, and no run. That's Kent 5 without loss after 2 overs. I assume Baker's going to open up from the other end. I think that's the natural order of things. Back from England duty.
Yeah, Liam Dawson, of course, still with them,
which gives again another left arm spinner in Andrew Neil a go here today as Wood comes in again full, and another gorgeous shot, this time from Daniel Bell Drummond. 2 straight drives down the ground, proper opening batsman shot that sort of stunned the Hampshire crowd into silence here. There's no applause or clapping. They're thinking, well, that's not the start we were expecting. So Kent have got off to a bit of a flyer here, 9 without loss after 4 balls, and Chris Wood needs to just pull his length back a bit here. He's too full. Vince isn't tempted any field changes as Wood comes in again, and this is full again, and this time it's to Vince, and they run a single as a shy by Vince that can't be cut off by James Fuller on the overthrow, but good backing up by Ben Mays in the deep, and so therefore Daniel Bell Drummond goes on to 5. Moyeye to Wanda Moyeye is on 5, and Kent Spitfires 10 without loss as we approach the end of the first over. This we're just making a couple of adjustments to. In he comes again, bowls, and it's on the leg side this time, and Mwanda flicks it quite pleasantly into the leg side where Ben Mays is patrolling that boundary. That's the end of the first over, which has gone for 11 runs, and Kent Spitfires obviously on that score. Well, Yeye on 6 and Bell Drummond on 5.
I go back to when Vince and Weatherly were going, as I said, it didn't look like that they were struggling, that they were trying to force anything, and that first over feels the same to me. There were some good cricket shots in there when Wood was going full. They were prepared to straight drive him and nudging the ball around otherwise for 11 to start. So yeah, this will be fascinating. As I said, the first wicket or 2 wickets that fall for Kent, that'll be really interesting to see how much that changes the momentum. Word for Ben in the studio, who tipped me off that Tawanda Moyeye, who wasn't originally in the squad for this game, they were going to leave him until later in the week, but he somewhat recovered yesterday with a game in the Kent Premier League. More of that in just a second. As Baker bowls to him, and he's just pulled that away for a single. Sonny Baker steaming in from the pavilion end. Tawanda Moyeye turned up in the Kent Premier League for his nominated side, Bromley. Hit 103 off 68 balls. Bromley won that one by 35 runs. So there we go. Proved to the physios and to, I'm sure, his captain and coaches that he was seeing the ball all right. So
one thing I've noticed, your team back at Kent like pulling you up on things, don't they?
Oh, well, Ben gives me extra information, to be honest.
Okay.
So I want to credit him rather than pretending that I thought of it or knew about it. But here's Baker too. Bell Drummond drops short, and Bell Drummond latches onto that very quickly and hooks that away for 4 fine. And that's not the start Sonny Baker wanted. An angry scuff at the bowling crease there from him as he goes away on the 95 on his back. But yeah, eagle-eyed Ben Watts, still himself attached to Tunbridge Wells, who are in the Kent Premier League. Obviously, their loss is broadcasting's gain, Ben. But yeah, so Tawanda working his way back into the Kent side, but great to see him, whatever happens today, fit and able to play. But Baker now to Bell Drummond, just drops his hands on that, very characteristic from Daniel Bell Drummond. It just bounces off to point, and there is no run. He does that characteristically through T20 matches, very happy to just drop his hands on the ball late, just guide it through either point or third man. Trust his hand-to-eye coordination for that.
It's a very left-handed shot played by a right-hander. You know, that late.
That's a good call. Yeah. But always makes the bowlers feel that they're in with a shout, I suppose. But it's a swing and a miss. Definite play and a miss outside the off stump. We didn't see that very much during the Hampshire innings, but pace on that from Baker. A little bit of movement off the seam away through to keeper Albert.
I've spent a bit of time in Kent recently. I don't know if I told you earlier. It is Daniel Bell Drummond's testimonial year this year, and I emceed a couple of events for him in June. one at the brewery over at Faversham, which was quite good fun, and then another at Gravesend Cricket Club. There was a T20 match going on.
Couple of great venues. Here's Baker too. Oh, Beldrami's done him! Middle stump out of the ground. Spectacular sight for the England man. Sonny Baker has removed Daniel Beldrami. He goes for 9. Just looked like he was warming to his task. He'll get to cool down in the dugout right now, Daniel Beldrami, because they've lost their first wicket, Kent, in just the second over. It's a hammer blow as the prolific Daniel Beldrami is bowled by Sonny Baker. First blood in this innings then, very much to Hampshire. Kent Spitfires 16 for 1.
Yeah, that was a big wicket because they'd started well, Tawana Muyeye and Daniel Beldrami. A couple of gorgeous off drives that James Vince just watched go past him down to the boundary in front of us here at the Hilton Hotel end. But Sonny Baker, having bowled it a bit short in the previous couple of balls, decided to pitch one up and just straight through Daniel Beldrami. It came in a little bit and just beat him. All ends up DBD, and a disappointing exit for the experienced Kent man, but that does bring in Zach Crawley to the crease, and I think this is a man that a lot of the fans in this crowd here today are looking forward to watching bat after what happened to him in the Ashes with England.
Yeah, he's looking for a score at the moment. Got himself 70 odd against Sussex in the second game of the series. Ooh, just feeling outside the off stump for that one. That was very much seaming away from him as well. Baker's beaten him for a bit of movement, a bit of a pace outside the off stump. Dot ball at the end. Great first over from Baker. And the Spitfires 16 for 1. The Hawks then, as I said, striking in that second over. Though to be fair, that's exactly, was pretty much a mirror image of what happened in the Hampshire innings. But all Kent have to do now is put on 100 for the second wicket, because that's what Vince and Weatherly did. That's the sort of size of the task for them.
Chris Wood then into Muyeye leg side, and it's just helped on its way down to Ben Mays' fielding just behind square on the square leg boundary, and that is a single which does bring the 6'4" former England opener, I guess we have to say that now, Zach Crawley on to strike to face the left arm Chris Wood. James Vince isn't doing much as far as the field's concerned, and Wood is staying over the wicket to Crawley, who's opened his stance up a bit to face the left armer who bowls, and he's beaten him, and it's taken well by Toby Albert, diving low to his right, but that's just skidded across Zach Crawley there. A couple of balls where he's had a waft at it outside the off stump. Not a shot, not a couple of shots of a man with any confidence or form, which is a shame for Zach Crawley. But early days yet. Classy batsman as Chris Wood in now, bowls full, and that's a huge shot from Crawley up in the air. Ben Mays is running around, but it's gone all the way for 6. It's the inside edge of the bat. Chris Wood's got his hands on his head because Zach Crawley wasn't aiming there. He was aiming a lot straighter over long on, but he got the inside edge of the bat and it's flown over the boundary, over square leg, 4, 6.
Yeah,
and that's him off the mark.
Those long levers, powerful man, isn't he? It's certainly enough to get over the boundary from 6. And as I said, looking for a score in this T20 blast is Crawley.
Wood again this time, and Crawley up in the air. It's a lofted shot. It's just gone behind James Vince, and they're coming through for a couple. Vince and Joe Weatherly both chasing after that ball. That's 1,600 runs in this format for Zach Crawley in his 63rd match. High score of 108 not out. What he'd give for anything like that now. He's got a strike rate of 147, so we're not going to die wondering, are we, with Zach Crawley? I don't think that was the case in the Test arena as well. He's on 8 already after facing just 4 balls. He's up now as Chris Wood, and he just tucks it more sensibly into the leg side, does Crawley, and he moves on to 9. Kent Spitfires 26 for 1.
News from the Kent dressing room, by the way. Sorry to interrupt,
That's
but
all right.
they're coming from the head coach, Adam Hollyoake.
Yeah.
Joe Denny, 50-50, currently getting treatment to see if he'd be able to bat. So
Wow.
possibility that, I mean, it looked very unlikely, but
How does he put pads on?
quite. Our regards to the Kent office and to Adam Hollyoake. Thank you.
Then to Muyeye, who's batting very sensibly and pushes a single down to the fielder at mid-on, and that is the end of the over. Andrew Neil does the fielding, and end of Wood's second over. He's gone for 22 off 2. Muyeye's on 9. Crawley's also on 9. Kent Spitfires 27 for 1.
England women, by the way, 150 for 4 at Lords. They've set Australia 151 to win the World Cup. That's what they're looking to defend in the 20 overs, England. So
this is where you need the Lord's pitch to continue to misbehave, isn't it?
Absolutely so. I was talking about the other game in this group that's going on with Essex at one point 78 for 7. Simon Harmer has dug in at the end, 142 for 8 against Middlesex at the turn there. This one's up in the air from Muyeye, but absolutely safe. In fact, he's on the top of the bounce off Baker, and that's gone for 4 runs just forward a square. I thought it looked risky, but it's gone absolutely completely bisected the field on the offside. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt. 4 runs.
Yeah, great shot to Muyeye. For someone who's an orthodox opener, if you like, you know, he's prepared to give it some hoolie, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a immensely talented player. Plays shots that not many can play in this game. That one's a big LBW shout. Umpire says leg buys.
Yeah, it must be leg side as well.
Like you, that. Yeah, that is
hands on the head from James Vince. That
looked like a close one. Put it that way.
Very close.
It has been. Yeah, it's been judged leg buys. So, but yeah, he's coming back into the team. As I said, Zach Crawley, very much as you said, looks like a man. Well, as we know, he is grafting to try and get himself back into some sort of form at the moment. Crawley as rolls the wrists on that one up to mid-on. Just a gentle shot for a single. And 33 for 1 and whatever. He's been through with England, obviously. It's played on the mind, quite obviously.
Yeah.
He's not quite the same figure as Zach Crawley that he was. And
he's not playing red ball cricket for
No,
Kent,
in fact, the 2 games in the middle of the T20, the Kent coaches, the ECB, Zach himself got together and he decided to pull out of those. And I think quite sensibly, just needs to get his head back in the game if he can. That's launched by Muyeye, and that's gone for a big 6 through the leg side, almost effortlessly. The speed that Baker is as well, that is a gorgeous shot from Tawanda Muyeye, and that'll be 6 runs. So, as I said, Sanjay, obviously I'm a great reader of the game. How will Kent go at this? Very conservatively, I said to start with. 6 runs there, goes on to 39 for 1.
It is that commentator's curse, isn't it? Whatever you say, the opposite is going to happen. But James Vince has got some decisions to make here early about, especially the pace that Hampshire have got at the top of their order, because the ball is coming on quite nicely.
Little jump as he starts his run up. Baker then scuttles in. That's been treated the same way. Off a good length, and it's Garage to our left there. Actually, no, it's gone into the stands. But again, it looks almost effortless. He's picking that up off a length. It's in the slot, and Muyeye has timed it beautifully. 6 runs.
2 magnificent shots in a row there by Tawanda Muyeye to a man who's bowling at 90 miles an hour to him is some effort to make it look so effortless.
Absolutely. Baker will know, though, wicket in the last over to get rid of Daniel Bell-Drum, and Muyeye tries to drive this through the covers. That's a great stop. That's James Vince. No, it's not James Vince, the captain. Beg your pardon.
It's Scott Curry there fielding.
Thank you very much. Check my Hampshire squad numbers. Yeah, good stop in the covers. He's a great fielder, Scott Curry, as well.
It's a good job the ball went to him, because he's going to be replacing Chris Wood here at the Hilton Hotel Inn. Wood 2 for 22 off his first 2 overs. 2 for 22, 0 for 22, sorry, off his first 2 overs. And Scott Curry is going to replace him. It's pace all the way for Hampshire here. They've got James Fuller also to bowl, same sort of place, and they got Andrew Neil bowling his left arm orthodox to come as well as Curry in then to Zach Crawley over the wicket, bowls full and lofted in the air. There's no one down here. It's gone all the way for 6 and right on the mark is Zach Crawley. It's 6s, raining 6s. It's 50 for Kent only after 4 overs and 1 ball. It's a fantastically conservative start. Goal by Kent. But to be fair to them, they have actually played quite conservatively.
Yep.
They've just timed the ball really well. It's Curry in then to Crawley. It's shorter this time and onto the back foot goes Crawley and just chops it into the offside where it's fielded and by Tristan Stubbs and no run. Yeah, they haven't really.
These are low risk. I mean, it feels like low risk shots, as you say, because they're timing them so well. But 47 for 1. They're backing themselves here. They're going aggressively, but timing it well at the moment.
In comes Curry again to Crawley. He waits and again he bashes it. It's in the air. It's going to fall short though of Andrew Neil, who's fielding it long on. False shot from Crawley, but he gets a single from it. 52 for 1.
Yeah, just mistiming it. That might have actually done him a favour there because it's dropped short the fielder, isn't it? It's just died on Andrew Neil a bit. Runs round to throw it back in.
What can Curry do now to Muyeye? In he comes. Full and up and just chipped away nicely down to Neil, who has a shy at the stumps. An appeal from Vince. It's all going off, but none of it was actually any good at all. And the umpire just saunters over and picks the bells up and puts it back on the stumps. Hampshire looking to get some sort of inroads into this Kent innings. It just started well at 53 for 1 as Curry then to Crawley. Shorter and just tucked into the leg side by Zach Crawley. Better from Scott Curry. I think if you bowl, you've got to bowl your lengths on this pitch. If it's too full, you're going straight. If it's too short and wide, you're going square. So there is that. There's a corridor, without getting boycottian on the whole thing. There's a corridor you need to bowl in, and there's a length you need to bowl in. So that Hassan Mahmood glove that he was aiming at is probably where it needs to be as Curry comes in again and bowls. And Muyeye, that's a nice looking shot. And there's a shot at the stumps, hit the stumps. There's an appeal against a runner against Crawley, but the umpire is not interested. But great bit of fielding by Sonny Baker there, and all going off in that over, which ends with Kent Spitfires on 55 for 1. Muyeye 27, Crawley on 18.
Yeah, they're taking a bit of a flyer here, Kent. Going at 11 and over. Power play for Hampshire Hawks, 50 for 1 off the 6, but they motored on from there with Weatherly and Vince putting on a ton and 1, in fact, when they finished. But Muyeye has looked in sweet touch so far, but Kent need a lot more of this. It's still an awful lot of runs away, isn't it, from the 191 they need. As a Wood from the far end now, it's just tickled down towards third by Muyeye. It's a shy at the stumps there, which flies past the other Timbers. Ben Mays is there, young England player.
Yeah, got 100 for the Lions over at Arundel. Yeah. Batted very well. I was there to see that.
He's played 19s as well, hasn't he?
Scored that stack of runs with Dawkins, didn't he, of Kent?
Yeah. And Ben Dawkins got himself 100 in that most recent ODI for the 19s. This one's tucked into the onside. Surplus to requirements in Kent's T20 team. I'm sure his time will come. As,
he plays in the 4-day
single taken. He does, yeah, indeed, yeah. I suppose he's essentially taken Zach Crawley's place. They have batted together, and they do look very similar. It's not the first time this has been mentioned. Similar in stature. There's Wood, left arm over the wicket to Muyeye. Actually, just slightly waited for that one as he placed it perfectly. Not quite. Oh, he has. Slide and a miss. from Felix James Fuller, isn't it? 26 out there,
Yep.
just sliding, try and get it, and he looks mighty frustrated, as he might do. I thought for a moment it'd gone between the two fielders, but Fuller made up ground brilliantly, slid to try and stop it, and has taken the ball over with him. And Mayeye has 4 more. He's 32 from 15 balls to Andy Mayeye at the moment, racing along.
It doesn't look like he's played an aggressive shot.
No, I'd agree. His timing is, at the moment, impeccable, and that's driven back past the bowler. It'll be 4 more from Mayeye, who's making up for a month off, showing Kent just exactly what they've been missing, and that will be 4 more. He moves on to 36, and the Spitfires on a 65 for 1. 2 balls left for the power play.
Yeah, he's making short work of this imposing total that Hampshire have set of 190 is Mayeye.
Wood comes in then to bowl, left arm over the wicket, bat and pad down towards fine leg, and it's a single taken, hurled in by Sonny Baker towards the far end, and backed up almost off his feet. Is that the skipper at the far end?
Yeah.
James Vince picking himself up, stopping the ball, and that's a 50 partnership. As you can tell from the ovation from the Hampshire supporters here. There's the a few Kent supporters that have put...
Do Kent fans travel?
Yes, they do, yeah. Good numbers as well. So I was surprised it wasn't greeted more exciting. Oh, it's a lovely shot from Zach Crawley. It's almost in to out, that one. Through the offside, that's 4 runs. Imperious field in. But now we'll see what happened, though, with more boundary fielders allowed out outside the power play. It's been a good one for Kent. They did lose Daniel Bell-Drummond for 9 in the second over, but 70 for 1. They're ahead of where Hampshire were by 20 runs. They're ahead of the Duckworth-Lewis. They're ahead of the required rate. There is plenty of cricket to be played, though. They still need 121 to win this match in the remaining 14 overs.
James Fuller's coming on to bowl for Hampshire. You'd suspect that pace off might be the way forward. I wouldn't be surprised if now we're out of the power play that Andrew Neil bowls from the far end. James Vince has certainly got to try and do something to stem a run rate that's nearly up at 12. 2 runs a ball nearly by Hampshire. It's Mayeye who's on 29 of 13 to face Fuller. Bowls, full toss on the leg stump, and that's clipped into the leg side. Ben Mays gets round to it quickly and gets it back to James Fuller for 1. And that brings Zach Crawley on to strike. This is going to be an interesting matchup here. Interesting to see the approach that Crawley takes to the pace, especially of Fuller. And the problem with James Fuller is you can't say it comes in, he bowls, and it's Fuller, can you? So you've got to find a different word for the length that he bowls, but he is approaching the crease now, and it is up there and driven beautifully by Zach Crawley, but there is a fielder down here in front of us, Scott Curry, at a very straight long on, gets to that, and Crawley just taps his head, and I thought he was going to practice the shot that he might well have played, but he seems quite content with his work off that ball, and he moves on to 24, and Spitfires are on 72. Yeah, he's been aggressive so far, 37 off 18 as Fuller approaches the crease, and driven beautifully by Mayeye, but Andrew Neil is the other fielder that's deep on the straight drive, if you like, and Scott Curry on one side, Neil on the other side. The other, now we're out of the power play, there's 4 fielders outside the boundary, 5. Scott Curry is one of them. So 4 fielders outside the boundary, and the other 2 are square of the wicket. It's just singles off this over from Fuller, which is pretty good considering what's been happening recently. Bowls and flicked onto the leg side by Crawley, pushing for 2, and he do come back for 2. Helped by a misfield from Scott Curry. Ben Mays was coming around as well and might have put him off, but they've come through for 2, and he moves on to 26. Does Crawley. Mayeye 38, 75 for 1, with a couple of balls left in this 7th over. Fuller just studies the ball. He places it carefully in his hand, quite a measured walk back to his starting point. Little steps that gather up now as he approaches the crease. And lofted high and over the boundary on the leg side goes Zach Crawley. Effortless shot from the impressive Kent batsman. He moves on to 32. Kent Spitfires 81 for 1.
Yeah, that's a mighty shot from Zach Crawley. Imperious over mid-wicket and looking dangerous at the moment. I said if there's no Joe Denley, this could be a thin top order for Kent, so they need to make the most of it here. But what had been a really economical over from James Fuller as well.
Last ball of the over now as he's in. And just clipped into the leg side by Crawley. And it's gone to Scott Curry, who's one of the plethora of fielders deep on the leg side. That's the end of the 7th over. Kent Spitfires at 82 for 1. Muyeye 38. Crawley's catching up. He's 33 of just 16 balls.
Yeah, the way they're going at the moment, obviously, if they do lose a wicket, they want to leave something manageable for the rest of the players to go at. So the run rate at the moment, 11.7, required 8.4. But a couple of wickets changes everything, as we know, in this form of cricket. So the Spitfires a bit ahead at the moment. But yeah, it will be Andrew Neil from the far end. First spin for Hampshire. We'll see how Tawanda Muyeye and Zach Crawley take this. Crawley to face the left armour first, up round the wicket to the right hand. He's LBW. Finger goes up immediately, and Zach Crawley knew, I think, as well. Not even a look back in anger or a look at the umpire. He's been trapped. First ball, pitches it up. Does Neil, gives it every chance, and Crawley, for a very impressive, very speedy 33, is gone. First ball. Very nice for James Finsat, isn't it? Bring your spinner on. Strikes first time out. First ball. Crawley goes. He's dangerous, but he's now gone. 82 for 2.
It looked like to me that he went back to one he should have gone forward to there. Zach Crawley, and Andrew Neil pushed it through. And I think it beat Crawley for pace more than anything else, and he's gone. You know, he's looking dangerous, Zach Crawley, 33. He scored there, but it does bring in the Kent captain, Sam Billings, who, as we said before, has played cricket all around the world. He's played 164 matches in this format of the Blast, 134 his strike rate over that period. He's a dangerous customer.
Yeah, he's got himself 450s in this T20 Blast this summer already. A duck last time out against Worcestershire. He wasn't the only one to get a low score, though. Kent fans will want to forget about that, so I'll paper over it too. 82 for 2, though, comes in with a game in the balance here. Kent made a good start, but can't afford to lose more wickets here. Neil to Billings. He's had a very good look at that one, Sam Billings. He's not afraid to play himself in either. The Kent captain will take responsibility, but he's not afraid to have a look for a few deliveries. And they've got plenty of time. They're ahead of the required rate at the moment. Billings flicks that off his pad. It'll be one at least. Will they go for a second to the arm? They will not. James Fuller hurls it in at speed. And so they just take the one off that.
Andrew Neil's not giving it any chance to turn, is he? There's no flight at all. He's pushing it through on the stroke.
It'd be interesting to see. Well, that approach works as Tawanda Muyeye goes for a pull from way outside the off stump, and see from his body language disappointed with that as it thumps it into the ground, and Stubbs Fields coming in from mid wicket, but it's just a single.
He's got a strange action, hasn't he, Andrew Neil? Very low, his arm, when he delivers the ball.
He's just spinning it from one end to the other at the moment. He's watch glinting, I think, of the left wrist. Sam Billings taking time to settle here. Leg side field pushed back forward of square. And yeah, it's quick again as he got him. Big appeal from the spinner when he run Billings out. They were slow coming through for the single. It's a leg by. Neil loved that one. I think his teammates did as well.
Yeah, James Vince was imploring the umpire off his knees then.
He's having a bit of back and forth with Sam Billings. I'm sure that's all friendly, he says. Round the wicket comes the left arm again. Arm through that quickly. and a single taken down to fine leg. End of the over. It's a great start. 3 off the bat and a leg by, and more importantly, the wicket of Zach Crawley. So Kendra 86 for 2, still up on the required rate, but that was a great first over from the spinner Andrew Neil. 86 for 2.
Yeah, good start. He needs to. He's got to play an important role here. Andrew Neil is the only spinner really within the bowling ranks of Hampshire. The other 4 medium pacers to quicks have gone for a bit early doors, so he's got to play, not only take wickets but a bit of control. Andrew Neil is Fuller in now to Moyeye, short, and Moyeye just cracks it onto the offside, where they're going to come through for 2, fielded by Tristan Stubbs. Down there on the point boundary, and Moyeye continues his merry ways into the 40s now, 42. He's on off just 22 balls, strike rate of 191. Interesting to see how he plays now. He's lost a couple of wickets, but he's still got Sam Billings at the other end. It's interesting also to see who comes in next for Kent, but we'll get to that point in a bit as Fuller comes in and Moyeye drives down in front of us where Andrew Neil is fielding. He's bowling from the far end, and poor bloke's having to run all the way down to long off when he's not bowling. So yeah, that's what you get for not playing often in the side, I guess. It's that, under the lid, short leg,
absolutely right
type thing. Young'un, get under there.
Got to do the donkey work,
yeah, exactly.
Earn your place,
exactly.
etc.
All that stuff. Very slow back to his mark, James Fuller, and takes his time, ponderous. Billings then also takes his time by looking around the field a bit more, and everybody's ready now for the 3rd ball of this over. He comes in short, and Billings tries to turn it onto the big gap on the leg side, but he doesn't, and he goes straight where James Fuller picks up and bowls. There are big gaps on the leg side, short for someone to just drop it into the space within the circle and scamper 2. There's runs there every tide if they can, because Hampshire have got the offside packed out here. Fuller then turns from just outside the circle, angled approach in, short, and Billings gets onto this, climbs into on the leg side because it was short, and Scott Curry comes round and feels they come around for 2. A good throw from Curry, but Billings was already home and he moves on to 3. Moyeye is on 43, and Kent Spitfires are 91 for 2, exactly 100 behind now, with more than half of the game left, half of the innings left, over and 2 balls more than halfway, as Fuller turns, bustles in. Always beating Billings for a beautiful ball outside the off stumps. Billings was walking down the pitch and it just kissed off the surface and beat him for pace more than anything else there, Billings. And a good dot ball. Couple of dot balls in this over so far. That's only gone for 4. We've had 5 balls in this over. So hopefully Fuller will be looking to get out of it without any further damage, given the fact he's gone for 17 already in the 11 balls he's bowled so far. He comes in to Billings. He's on the leg side and Billings slipped away, but there is a fielder there who picks it up, and Joe Weatherly makes no mistake with that, and that's just a single. End of the 9th over. Kent Spitfires 92 for 2.
Yeah, a couple of quiet overs for the Spitfires, then losing Zach Crawley, going for 4 and 6 from Neil and Fuller respectively. So there's a bit of a lull for Kent. So Moyeye goes for a conference with Sam Billings. I think he's got himself some fresh gloves there. So game properly in the balance here at the Utilita Bowl. 92 for 2. As Chris on the PA is going to rouse this crowd. I think they're just concentrating on some fantastic cricket out there at the moment. Very close between these two sides at this point. Neil bowls left arm with the wicket again. Yes, he's getting these down quick. Is Andrew Neil.
Chris Temple, a Kent boy.
He is indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
Big Gills fan. Are we allowed to say?
Yeah.
Oh, crikey! Am I outing him? Big Gillingham fan. There we
No,
go.
it's fine. We were talking about football in the first game. I told everyone I was a Luton fan. That didn't go down well either.
Round the wicket comes. It's a swing and a miss from Mieye down on the sweep. Hits the pads of keeper Toby Albert. It's a dot ball. Andrew Neil's a sort of story I love to see. Someone making their way in first-class cricket a little bit later in their career. There's hope for all of us. Some of us it will be very late. It has to be said, but Neil at 26 or 25 last year, working his way into the one-day team for Hampshire. This one's a single into the onside.
Lintop was late as well, wasn't he? 27,
yeah,
I think,
absolutely,
before he got his first professional contract.
But yeah, top wicket taker for Hampshire last year in the one-day cup and playing T20 for them today. And doing well as well. 1 for 5 off 9 balls so far. Billings comes down the pitch. He wants to stop the stranglehold, but can only drive it up to long on. Joe Weatherly had a fantastic innings. And a great partnership, central partnership with James Vince. You're just joining us, throws back in. So 1 to the total. Mieye just defending that one into the onside. He won't take any chances with Neil, and applause goes round the bowl here from those Hampshire fans, respecting what their spin bowler has done. 1 ball to come. Mieye defends that one. Don't see that a lot in T20 cricket, but they are treating him very suspiciously and very respectfully. That over's gone for just 3 runs. So at the turn, halfway through their innings, they're 95 for 2. Still needing another 96 to win. So they're just about halfway there. Hampshire were 97 for 1. Good luck picking a winner out of that one, I would say. It's a very close game, this one, at the Utilita Bowl.
And that's reflected in the crowd. They're tense. I mean, I've never seen applause for a dot ball in T20 in a game that provides thrills and spills and sixes galore. This is a very tense game, and where singles and dot balls are applauded. And a knowledgeable crowd here at the Utilita are certainly into it. And like you say, Matt, who knows which way it's going to go? Let's find out as Fuller comes in to bowl. Sam Billings advances down the track, short from Fuller, and sort of a baseball-style club from Billings that he doesn't get hold of. But he does get a single to bring Mieye onto strike. 96 for 2 then, Kent Spitfires.
It turned into a bit of an ugly swat, that one, didn't it? He was just trying to advance on Fuller. Not sure how much he saw him coming, but has dropped it short to make it more difficult to get away.
Mieye, 44 now of 27. Fuller, shirt bustling in the wind. And that's a great one on the leg side, and he split the field, and it's gone. It's gone for 4. As signalled by Scott Curry. A small boy in the crowd is reluctant to give the ball back, but he does so under instruction from a parent, or certainly an adult he's with. And that's a good shot from Kent Spitfires, from Mieye, and takes the Kent Spitfires to 100 after 10.2 overs, and takes Mieye on to 48 off 26 balls. Fuller then approaches the crease outside the off stump, and that's clubbed away. That's going to go to the boundary, unless it's a despairing dive. Brilliantly done down there by the fielder, who is Tristan Stubbs. And given the fact the ball does run across the pitch here, the Utility's done very well to stop that, but it doesn't stop. Tawanda Mieye getting to 50 of 29 balls. He salutes the applause, the well-deserved applause from the crowd, and he has played a big part in taking Kent Spitfires to 102 for 2 as Fuller comes in, bowls, and is up in the air, and this time is a man underneath it. Mays has caught it. That's the end of Tawanda Mieye. He's just clipped James Fuller into the leg side, and it's a good catch because he was right next to the boundary. But Joe Weatherly right next to the boundary, just made sure that it stayed inside, got his hands to it, and on top of the 60-odd runs he gets, Joe Weatherly gets rid of Tawanda Mieye, the man who is taking Kent towards a decent chase of this Hampshire Hawks total of 190.
Yeah, they've got a lot to do now, Kent, with the resources available to them. We don't know if Joe Denley will come out. It'll be Harry Finch next. We know that much as he comes out. Denley with what looked like a sickening blow on the shin while fielding. No more than 50-50, we're told by the Kent dressing room. But Harry Finch comes out next. A lot of work to do because 89 is a lot of runs from this position. They've lost Bell Drummond, made only 9, but looked good for those. Crawley was purring along for 33, and Mayeye, who was going very quickly indeed for a rapid 50 off 30 balls, eventually perishing it just after getting that half century. 102 for 3 with the Spitfires.
Got 45 in the match against Hampshire, did Harry Finch. So he likes batting against his bowling attack. That's the first wicket for James Fuller. He's gone for 25 off his 3 overs, or nearly 3 overs. A couple of balls left in it then. He is into Finch now, who waits and just pushes into the leg side, where it's fielded by Scott Curry, who's in a short, sort of straightish mid-wicket position there on one of the cut strips here at the Utilita. It's got a wide square here. We're playing on the sort of nearly towards the end of the right-hand side. We're about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in from the right. And Scott Curry was fielding on one of those. There's a ball left in this James Fuller 3rd over. He's gone for 25 so far, taking a wicket which is just gone of Muyeye. Bowls, and this time Finch just drops onto the offside, takes a single. Sam Billings drops his bat on the way through. Not sure why he drops his bat, and as always, oh no, it doesn't. I thought, as always happens when something happens, someone picks the bat up and starts to play with it, but Fuller just hands it back to Harry Finch, and Kent finished the 11th over on 103 for 3, chasing Hampshire Hawks 190 for 3.
Yeah, the Duckworth Lewis had that over at 104 for par, so pretty close between these two sides if you need any more instruction on that. But Andrew Neil is at the moment the bowler of this match, 1 for 6 off 2. Do Kent have to find a way to get him away, or do they just see out 2 overs? That's a lot of deliveries in T20 to go calm for. Finch faces him now, drives, doesn't time it, up towards a long off, and just a single there. While I'm on this over, I should say congratulations to Kent's women who've made finals day in League 2 at the Vitality Blast. They'll play Gloucestershire.
Jones, you'll be pleased.
He will be pleased indeed, yeah.
Yeah, they were waiting on some results today.
They were, yes.
Run rates.
You're absolutely right. Beat Derbyshire Falcons, and then the last of their group games. Then we're waiting on Middlesex and Gloucestershire today. As this one's pushed into the onside, will they go back for 2? They won't risk it to the arm of Stubbs, out to mid-wicket. So single taken, applause for the fielding, 105 for 3 Spitfires. So, Kent will start 12 noon. Sunday 12th of July, if you can make your way down to Cardiff for that one, finals day. They'll play Gloucestershire in the first semi-final. That one's run up to long on. Single taken, 106 for 3. And yeah, they're not taking any liberties with Andrew Neil here. Penny for the thoughts of Captain Sam Billings here. Do they think we can take the runs off the seamers? We might have to. So definitely a wide. He's backed outside his leg stump, Billings, but he's been followed by Neil. He's then done a sort of matador swerve away from the ball, Sam Billings. I think Neil is saying, look, he's way outside the leg stump, but it still has gone leg side of Billings, I suppose, to be fair to him.
It's probably, outside the blue line that's on the left-hand side as well. It's that wide.
Indeed, so Neil asking for instruction. As down the pitch comes, Billings makes that into a full toss and launches that away over mid-wicket for 6. It's a big shot. Back foot comes off the ground, flamingo style. And yeah, he wasn't comfortable, Sam Billings. He's had a good look at Andrew Neil. Actually, I think that was going to be a full toss anyway, wasn't it? It's given it a bit of air. And Billings doesn't need much encouragement to come down the pitch and slam him away for 6.
Yeah, good shot by Billings. Just can't let Andrew Neil just bowl at him. It's got to change something up here.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's to change the momentum. He comes down the pitch again, flicks that through leg side. That's beautifully placed. That's an absolute beauty from Sam Billings, all the way along the ground for 4, but he's just split the field perfectly on the offside. Perfect placement. He's gone 6-4 now against Neil. And this is the way it works at T20, isn't it? Suddenly there's something for James Vince to think about. So Neil has straight down the leg side, and he's trying to turn the ball away from Sam Billings, trying to trap him perhaps as he goes outside the leg stump, but Billings held his ground on that occasion, has flicked it away for 4. So ball to come. Neil's third over. It's a big appeal. Is it bat and pad? It's gone forward of square, back at the bowler. End of the over. It's a dot ball to finish. Good one from Neil. He still has bowled 3 overs, 1 for 20, which ain't bad. Billings, though, is on to 18 from 14. Finch has 3. The Spitfires 117 for 3 then at the end of 12. And this could be very close indeed by the time we get to 20 overs if it goes that far.
Yeah, that over broke a run of 4 previous overs where Kent only scored single-figure scores in that over, 6, 4, 3 and 8, and this time 14 off that over. So that 6 from Billings certainly helped to change a pattern that had been set. Hampshire bringing Scott Curry back on from the hotel end. He'd bowled an over before that had gone for 10. He's going to be bowling to the newish batsman in Harry Finch, who's only faced 4 balls so far. He's in again then, Scott Curry, and bowled, and Finch drives down the ground and dived over it by Andrew Neil, but there is a fielder behind him who is just hurled that in. That's Chris Wood, and he's just given that back in to the keeper. So just a single off that ball.
Yeah, is that Wood just, was it Fuller?
It's Fuller,
down here? Yeah,
Fuller,
it's just
Fuller.
feeling his thigh a little bit as he walked away there, yeah.
Curry in then, bowls to Billings outside the off stump. That's flayed away, caught beautifully, diving forward. That's a great catch. I think it's Hilton Cartwright. I will get that confirmed. But that's a great catch, diving forward to get rid of the very dangerous Sam Billings. And he's gone for 18. Scott Curry strikes. And Kent have lost their 4th wicket for 118.
Yeah, and this is where, well, if they have no Joe Denley here, or he's not fit enough to bat, they're a long way out here for the likes of Grant Stewart, who I believe is coming out next to come in at 6. This is a long-looking tail without Joe Denley. It looks like he won't play much part in this, injured in the field.
Unless they're giving him as much time as possible.
Yeah, quite possibly, yeah.
Chris Woke style coming towards the end. Paul Terry back in the day. Hampshire, great, playing for England, broke his arm.
But that wicket there, that puts Hampshire on top for me.
Yeah.
In a very tight contest, that's a massive wicket.
Just, the 4th. It's not so much the 4 wickets, is it? It's who the 4 wickets are and what they've got left, because they're a run ahead as far as Duckworth Lewis is concerned, but they've lost 4 wickets. And it is the Italian all-rounder Grant Stewart who's in now to face Scott Curry, who bowls outside the off stump, flayed away, and that's gone all the way down to the boundary. First ball for 4. It's just wide from Scott Curry and the solitary Kent supporter, unless it was Sam Billings again, shouts a big yay, and that's all the encouragement that Grant Stewart needs. That's a good start.
Well, if you know anything about county cricket, you know Grant Stewart can hit big. Yeah. How long he'll stay around will be another thing.
Curry again. It's full and dug out into the leg side where Ben Mays comes in off the boundary, and just a single, and that brings Harry Finch on to strike. 2 newish batsmen, or new batsmen really. Finch has only faced 5 balls. Stewart has only faced 2 so far. So Hampshire have done well to get rid of the set batsmen and Billings and Muyeye before. Curry in. Leg side-ish, but full. And that's tucked into the leg side by Finch. And they just go through for a single. Someone's getting very excited down there with singles. I mean, singles could go either way, couldn't they? They could be, great, we got a single, says the Kent fan, or Hampshire are going, it's only a single. Yeah. So you never know.
The new dot ball it was back in the day, wasn't it? A single. They said as this game progressed from the early 2000s.
Curry Up to the stumps now. Gathers and bowls outside the off stump and crashed away. And Stubbs dives on the boundary and just stops it from going over. Good fielding that the Hampshire supporters are appreciative of, and they run through for 2 to end that. Scott Curry over Kent Spitfires, 126 for 4. Finch on 5, Stewart on 7.
I mean, the required rate is just a little bit over 9 and over, which looks doable, but as you were saying, it's the batters that have gone, and Billings has had such a good, I mean, obviously he's a great T20 player, but he's had such a good summer already with the bat, and that was a massive wicket. But Utilita Bowl is last. He's been superb so far. Finch comes down the pitch to him. He's almost nose to nose with him as he plays that up to long off. Not quite. I exaggerate just a little bit, but a single taken to Scott Curry. Stewart marks out his guard, the Italian international. His career strike rate in T20s is 144, which gives you some idea. As he splays his feet, sets himself, and just muscles that for 6 wide of long on. He is more than capable of doing that. Hampshire won him out quickly. But yeah, 144 is strike rate. His international strike rate is 160.
Is it?
From 24 to 20 internationals. Hits a long ball. What can Neil do? He has sprayed it way wide, that one. Neil, a bit too enthusiastic, trying to stretch Grant Stewart on the offside. I think he just lost that. Just lost the grip, the left armour. So it's a wide, no more damage than that. That tucks him up on the pads. Really good from Neil. That's what he was been trying to do to Mayeye and Billings in the previous over.
I learned that Grant Stewart was a qualified civil engineer the other day.
He's a man of many talents, has to be said. Driven by Stewart, but again tucked up for room on the leg stump. Nicely done by Neil. Italian mum. Got him into the Italian side, and a bit of an Aussie twang to his voice. He's very much the Renaissance man, isn't he?
Yeah, very much.
Intelligent fella too, and this one's driven up to long on.
I don't think having an Aussie twang in that Italian side would be out of place, to be honest.
No, but if anyone questions his,
yeah, oh no,
he didn't have to go searching for that passport very far. As Stewart feints to go outside the leg stump, stands his ground, but drives it past the bowler for a single. But there was a single 6 off that as well. So 137 for 4. It doesn't feel spectacular, that over necessarily, but it keeps Kent up with the required rate, which is exactly 9 now for the last 6 overs. So Hampshire are ahead for me of this one with the batting resources they've already got rid of. But James Vince won't think this is over by a long shot. Here on BBC Soul and BBC Radio, Kent. Hope you're enjoying it. Sanjay Murthy and me, Matt Cole. This is an entertaining one and a tense one if you're a supporter of either side.
Yeah, very much so. I think Hampshire will be happy that the 4 that they've got back in the hut are the 4 big Kent batters, but these 2 are not to be taken lightly as Scott Curry starts now, bowls, and the cutaway on the offside. But it's beautifully fielded and a shy at the stumps, but the overthrows means that Grant Stewart comes through for 2. Unfortunate that. But it's a great stop in the first place by Hilton Cartwright. But 2 to Stewart. He moves on to 17 already off the 8 balls he's faced. Kent 139 for 4. DLS is 133. So it's there or thereabouts as Scott Curry approaches the crease. It's full. There's a big appeal for LBW. It looked leg sidey from up here. Hands on head by everybody because the umpire is unmoved. Some comments from the crowd that probably I did well to mask over by talking as I did.
Yeah, apologies if you could hear any undercurrent there.
If there were any comments you picked up, apologies. But
not entirely happy.
Yes, but it looked leg side from up here. Not happy. The Hampshire bowlers and fielding side. Anyway, Scott Curry in now to Stewart. shorter, and he's on the back foot. Stewart again, great fielding by Cartwright, shies at the stumps, and Ben Mays is in quickly this time off the boundary on the leg side to prevent any chance of a second run being taken by the Kent batters. It does bring Harry Finch onto strike. It's scored 7 off the 8 balls he's faced so far.
Yeah, he struggled a bit, hasn't he, Finch, for timing so far?
3 balls left in his over, one of which Curry's about to bowl now. It's full, it's slightly slower, and Finch just tucks it into the leg side for Mays to field single. 142 for 4. It's a good over this. Anything that doesn't have a boundary in it is a good over as far as Hampshire is concerned. And this one, after 4 balls, doesn't. So let's see. It's like chilly now, isn't it? I thought it was some sort of scorchio, but not to be the case as Curry approaches and tucked away by Stewart into the offside, where Tristan Stubbs comes off the boundary to field. Just a single. Yeah, I thought it was one of these super hot days.
Yeah,
and stuff,
the listeners have no idea what we have to go through, Sanjay.
No, exactly.
It's like goosebump on the gantry.
But up here, you know, in the day when it is hot, it is hot.
Yeah.
Because it's we do the commentary here at the Utilita from the camera gantry, which is like a greenhouse. Has that effect anyway. As Curry comes up full, that's a big waft by Harry Finch. He's stuck on 8 off 10 balls, and that's a good ball from Curry. I'm just looking because there was a no ball somewhere that I missed. Not sure where that was. I didn't see any signal for the
in fact, that would have been the free hit then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see it either, but yeah, that's why he's taken a massive waft
of it. As he bowls now, and this time Finch pushing him offside. Finch is in quickly, but doesn't field it cleanly, and they go through for a single to finish that Scott Curry over, which is his 3rd. He's bowled all 3 overs, 1 for 26, and Kent Spitfires 144 for 4 after 15.
I think, yeah, this is in the balance, this game, isn't it? Because Kent will think, we're not a million miles away here. We're keeping things ticking over. Required run rate 9.5. They need 9.5 off the final over, for instance. How upset would they be? Probably not a great deal, I'd imagine. I mean, from their point of view, they'd like to get it done with a couple of overs to spare, and Hampshire would like to bowl them out very quickly, obviously. But this is a tense one here at the Utilita Bowl.
Because according to this, Tom Rogers will be in next unless they say Denley out. Obviously, they're keeping that one reasonably quiet at the moment, aren't they? So they can sort of hedge their bets. But it's Sonny Baker who's going to continue from the far end.
Is indeed. Little hop and a skip as he starts his run up into Finch down the leg side. Well, it's just over the leg stump, I think, that one. It's so close. So rightfully, the umpire's not giving that as a wide. That's a great ball. Finch has tried to help it down to fine leg. That's a Kent supporter with a very loud voice. 144 for 4. Come on, Kent.
I don't know, these Kent supporters, you know.
Ruining the tone.
Ruining the tone. Shouting all sorts. Never find Hampshire.
Take the fan out of Kent, you can't take it. So Baker then to bowl to Finch. 9 of 12 so far. Oh, he's bowled him. He's made room, Finch, to try and carve him through the offside. Beaten for pace. He's pitched it right up there, and the block hole has Sonny Baker, and he's got his 2nd wicket. And Finch goes, to be honest, he'll know. He just wasn't getting the ball off the square there, but it will bring... Will it be Tom Rogers?
He's walking without the help of anybody. So it's not Joe Denley.
It's double figures on his shirt, certainly, as he squatted down. It is Tom Rogers, yeah. I make some apologies, but not many, because we are quite a long way from the playing surface here, up in the gantry. Superb view, but not close enough to see the whites of Tom Rogers' eyes. But it will be the Aussie coming out next with a lot to do for Kent. 144 for 5. It's another wicket for Hampshire, just chipping away here. 47 to win, or 4.4 overs here at the Utilita Bowl.
Another batter with a big strike rate. He goes at 143. But not that many runs. He's got a high score of 31 not out. Left-handed bat, Tom Rogers. So Sonny Baker's going to go around the wicket to him. But interesting to see what role he plays now. Is he going to support Grant Stewart, or is he going to give it some long handle himself and and put some runs on the board. I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah, 26 put on between Finch and Stewart. That's Rogers. First left-hander in the lineup for Kent. Baker comes around the wicket to him, and that again is pitched right up. What's he got on that? It's gone down the leg side. It's either pad or bat. It's bat. He's got something on that. A glance down to fine leg. Andrew Neil is fielding there inside the circle. So a single. And they've got to keep things ticking over here. Kent, if they're going to win this one, the required rate's up into double figures now. And they've got batters 6 and 7 out there. Or, well, more like 7 and 8, you'd say, because Joe Denley, who suffered that injury in the field, would have been out in the middle before these two. They've got work to do, and Baker showing his skills and his pace at the moment. So over the wickets, the right-handed Grant Stewart in the sunshine now. Stewart adjusts his feet. It's a miss. It's gone. It just missed the leg stump as well as he swung for that one. Again, it's Yorker length at such speed from Baker, and it's shot through to the wicketkeeper down the leg side. But Stewart tried to make himself some room. And I'm not sure how much he knew about that one, Sanjay. It was moving at such a pace.
I think Sonny Baker sort of gave him a couple of words of advice as to how he expected that ball to be played. But I'm sure Grant Stewart ignored him.
It was quick.
It was fast.
From Baker, 145 for 5. 2 balls to come on the 16th. Kent lagging behind the required rate now. It's in the block hole again, but Stewart makes something of it, digging it out to drive it past the bowler for a single. That's all they'll take. And again, applause for the fielding. This Hampshire crowd really warming into this and giving their side every encouragement. Just 2 off this over from Sonny Baker, exactly what Hampshire needed. And the wicket of Harry Finch as well. And, well, after this over, I'd imagine there will be a very serious chat between Tom Rogers and Grant Stewart about exactly how they're going to take on the final 4 overs. It's Baker then from the pavilion end around the wicket to Rogers. He just pushes that one for a single up to mid-on, and that's a great over from Sonny Baker. Just 3 off it. The wicket of Finch, is that the one that turns the game? 147 for 5 then after 16. They still need 44 to win off the remaining 4. Kent, with Grant Stewart and Tom Rogers at the crease. It's a tall order. Hampshire will think they've got 1 foot into victory here.
I would think so. That, yeah, the gap now to DLS 154. Kent Spitfires on 147. So they're 7 behind where they need to be. Chris Wood is coming back from this hotel end. He'll be bowling to Tom Rogers. They've got a green approach here, Matt. As you said, you know, the singles and stuff aren't going to do. There's a lot of fielders packing the leg side boundary as Chris Wood comes in full and pushed into the leg side where it's fielded by Andrew Neil, who's come off quickly off the long on boundary, and there's just a single for Rogers. Maybe that was the plan, to give as much of the strike as possible to Grant Stewart. He's on 20 of 13 balls.
They're going to need at least a boundary and over here, if not more, aren't they? So
yeah, what did you say? It was 11, wasn't it, before the start of this over? So yeah, they're going to need something that gives them a shot of that final over. As you said, at one point it was 9.5. It's gone up to 11 now. They've got to make sure that that final over is achievable as Wood in. His bowl's wide and given a wide by the umpire. Just try to push it outside the long limbs and levers of Grant Stewart to make sure he just couldn't get underneath it and hit it to the boundary, but he pushed it too wide, and he's got to bowl that again. Turns, top of his mark. Stewart is ready. Wood bowls. Again, it's a wide, and again is given a wide. Groans from the crowd. Someone calls for a hat-trick of wides also from the crowd. Kent reached 150 with the second of those ones after 16.1 overs. So just 40 1 to win. Wood, this is Fuller.
Oh,
this is going to be a third in a row. The caller of the hat-trick has got his view, but this is poor bowling from Chris Wood. This is not what James Vince needs at the moment. He's had control from his other bowlers, from Neil, from Curry, from Fuller, and from Baker in the last over, and Chris Wood is now bowled 3 wides in a row. Let's see what he does now as he bowls, and this time it's clumped up into the air. 1 bounce in front of Andrew Neil down here at long off, and as Grant Stewart hangs his head back, there's a chance to reach the boundary with that one, but only 2 legitimate balls have been bowled and already 5 runs.
Yeah, I mean, flirting with that blue line is I completely understand it from a bowler and captaincy point of view. If you're only giving away 1 run at a time, but 3's a different matter.
Wood short, leg side. It's the 4th wide of the over, and they've run through for a single as well. Good running from Grant Stewart. It's an expensive over without the ball having gone to the boundary for Hampshire.
Weird over this is.
Yeah, so I'm not sure there's going to be much room on that scoreboard because we're running into the run rate sign in a bit. We've only had, 2 legitimate balls. As Wood comes in again, bowls, full, crashed into the leg side. That's going to be 1 bounce 4. Splits Ben Mays and Scott Curry. A kind person in the crowd tries to retrieve it from between the seats, but this is proving to be an expensive over. Grant Stewart goes on to 25. Kent Spitfires 158 for 5.
Yes,
we've only had 3 balls.
Sorry, yeah, I was going to say exactly that. 11 from 3 effectively now from Chris Wood.
Who's in again now? Stewart crouching ready, moves across his crease and bangs into the offside, up in the air, and Tristan Stubbs takes the catch. A huge roar from the crowd. Chris Wood is walking very slowly towards the man in the deep who's taken the catch. He just gets the ball back. I don't think he's overly celebrating that because he knows that he was lucky, I think, to get that. But Grant Stewart's gone for 25 off 16 balls. He held the key to Kent getting over the line here, we think. Now, the cameraman who's following in, is it? No, it's not, is it? I thought it was following in all the way in because it was Dendy, but it's not. It's Jake Lintott who's coming in now. 158 for 6 now. Kent with the departure of Grant Stewart.
Yeah, and it's going to be really, well, it was tough before.
Yeah.
This is Hampshire very much on top. They'll be bitterly disappointed if they lose from here, and Kent need to pull something out of the fire with their tail end batsmen or lower order batters.
Although Kent are actually ahead of the DLS by 1 run at the moment.
Okay.
Let's
they
see.
are a batter down, I guess, as well, with resources.
That's the problem as Wood in again bowls, and interesting shot from Linton. He ran all the way to the offside to try and scoop it over the leg side, and then he scooped it back onto his stumps. Staying still would have been probably a better shout, but it's a dot ball from Chris Wood, the first one of this over, and we have run out of room on the scoreboard to see. Because there's still 2 balls left.
We don't want to break it.
No, I think that's where we're going with this. Wood in, bowls. Big crash onto the offside by Lintott, but it sounded nice. Fielded by Vince. No runs. The end of that over. Kent Spitfires 158 for 6. And Chris Wood gets out of it. He's bowled his 4 overs. He's taken 1 for 47.
Yeah, they're just in it by the skin of their teeth here, Ken. It looks like Hampshire are looking to, or will close this one out, unless there are some heroics from Jake Lintott and Tom Rogers here.
Yeah, there needs to be a big over,
yeah.
Isn't there? And
he does have a T20 high score, Jake Lintott, of 41, but that's very much the exception rather the rule to his batting. Going 11 and a strike rate of about 105. Tom Rogers, as you were saying, his strike rate is very reasonable, and it needs to be here. He probably needs to go long handle. 33 off 18 balls then for Kent to win this one. It's a tall order for these two. As James Fuller comes down from the pavilion end, bowling to Rogers. Goes a bit wide, actually. Rogers has just managed to drive that one into the covers for a single. Hasn't timed that particularly well himself either. And it's just the one off the first ball. Some applause below us. I think acknowledging that every single rather than boundary here is very much a step towards victory for Hampshire. What's the Duckwood Lewis? 166 at the end of this over. So yeah. As I said, that's the resources are 6 down, but Kent, if Denley doesn't bat, effectively 7 down here. As Lintop faces, Fuller, and let's just clip that out towards square leg. It'll just be a single again. And more applause from the Hampshire crowd. I think, as I said, with every single or dot, the belief swells from the team at the top of this southeastern group that they could be taking another step towards the quarterfinals.
I am listening. I'm just doing a bit of social media at the same sort of time, taking a picture of what we look at when we're up here on the gantry.
Here is Fuller then to Rogers. That's a great shot from him, straight down the ground, and that is unerring 6 over the bowler's head.
They're going to need more of that, Kent.
Yeah,
it's
we're right behind that big shot from Tom Rogers. As you say, they need more of it, but
full and straight by James Fuller, lovely flow of the bat. As you said before, he's got a decent strike rate, Tom Rogers, 140 odd, so he can certainly strike the ball. What are we now? 166 at the end of the over, as you say. That's what they are now.
Yeah,
it's tight.
25 off 15 now for Kent. As for the bowls to Rogers, it's full and outside the off stump. Rogers stoops to try and just cut that away, but it's a dot ball. It's a good reply from Fuller. But yeah, 25 off 14, then 4 wickets in hand, or probably 3, as we said with the injury to Joe Denley. So Kent on out of it. You'd think Hampshire would be confident of taking this home. A couple of voices competing with each other for their 2 respective sides. As Fuller to Rogers, it's a full toss, and he's missed out a little bit there as Rogers. It's come off the outside part of the bat and has gone for a single. Stubbs Fields at cover.
Yeah, it's a full bunger there that I think Rogers, as you rightly say, Matt, felt he should have done better with. Conference in the middle of the pitch between the 2 batters. 24 of 13 balls.
Yeah.
And they need something of this ball, you would suggest.
I wonder what the chat was. As Lintop goes for that one, tries to scoop it away for 4. I think he's been hit on the thigh pad outside the leg stump. Dot ball, as you can hear from the applause from the Hampshire fans in this crowd. 167 for 6, and that will leave Kent 24 to win off 2 overs. May well be relying on the big hitting of Rogers to get them there. Hampshire, if they can get him early part of the next over, it could be all but over.
And I think those 2 overs are going to be bowled by Scott Curry from this Hilton Hotel end and Sonny Baker from the pavilion end. So it's pace to deal with for Kent. Rogers is 11 off 7, Lintop 1 off 4. It is Scott Curry to bowl then to Tom Rogers. He's in now outside the off stump and bowled and pushed into the offside by Rogers, where it's fielded by Hilton Cartwright. It's just a single. I suspect that Rogers needs the strike here. I'm not sure what Lintop's, as you say, he had a high score of 41.
But yeah, strike rate's about
107. Yeah, so it's a case of just giving a strike back to Rogers as quickly as possible. Let's see what he does as Curry comes in now. Bowls, he advances down the track. It's high up in the air. Fielders are converging. And Hilton Cartwright is not going to drop that. And that's the end of Lintop. He's gone for 1. Curry strikes. And Kent have lost their 7th wicket for 168.
Yeah. So Lintop perishes, and just looking at this, it'll be Matt Milnes, I think, to come out next for Kent, running out of resources.
Yeah, I
Is
think
this Milnes? It is. Yeah, I don't think we'll see Denley in this case.
No.
As it's going so deep in the order, and a massive
Well, this
shame
is
for
the
him. But
interesting
yeah,
thing, though, Matt. If this is close, does he come out?
well, that's a very good point.
Because I think if it was miles behind, then obviously you'd say no. What's the point in risking it? But this is possibly close enough that they send Joe out to bat. We're going to wait and see, I guess, like everybody else is. It's still a very good crowd here at the Utilita, some in better voice than others.
23 from 10 now needed.
Curry tossing the ball from hand to hand, just waiting for Matt Milnes to be ready. He's 141 is his strike rate, but again, not many runs. Let's see what happens now as Curry approaches bowls and Milnes tucked into leg side to give Rogers a single, or to give himself a single to get Rogers back on strike, and well fielded off his own bowling by Scott Curry. Now 9 balls remaining, 22 to win. It's just getting to that point now where it might well be too much for Kent. Let's see. Certainly long handle required from Rogers off these remaining 3 balls that there's Curry over as he bowls, and he tries it, squirts out onto the offside, but that's fielded by Ben Mays comfortably, and it's just a single. Hampshire crowd like it. The applause has got a bit bigger as the tenseness starts to fade, Matt. It's starting to look like it's a Hampshire win.
Yeah.
They've bowled well here.
They have bowled really well. I think they need probably boundary off each ball here now to make this competitive in the last over.
Curry in again bowls, and that's driven down the ground by Milnes, but straight to the fielder. Andrew Neil is positioned at mid-off, and he just gives it a nonchalant rub and throws it back to Hilton Cartwright. Gives it back to Scott Curry, and that's a single off that. There's the last ball of this penultimate over. They're going to get into their last over with at least 14 to get here, Kent. Let's see what happens on this ball as Scott Curry comes into Tom Rogers. He's bowled him! He's bowled him! A huge roar here at the Utilita. He's yorked him. That's the end of Tom Rogers for 13. What a decent ball that was from Scott Curry. And Kent 171 for 8.
And that will just about do it, with Hassan Mahmood to come out next for Kent. It'll be a final over, and still 20 to win. Unless Matt Milnes does something absolutely colossal in this last over, they will win this game. And with that, their hopes of qualifying for the quarterfinals pretty much in tatters, unless you believe in miracle maths. But there we go. But for Hampshire, obviously a win huge for them, top of the table at the moment, and hoping this is one of the wins that will push them towards an early qualification for the quarters. But Hassan Mahmood comes out, and I think he will be
I think
the last man for Kent.
Their 12th appearance at finals day, Hampshire. Amazing, really.
Kevin James is rarely away from there.
Yeah, that's right.
They saved him a seat. But yeah, fantastic record for Hampshire.
Doubles up as one of the mascots as well.
So it'll be Sonny Baker to try and finish things off here for Hampshire, bowling to Milnes. It'll flick. Will it be caught? It's caught on the run. And that could be it. I'm not sure Denny will come out. Andrew Neil, superb running, diving catch. Is that the end for the Spitfires? They are 9 down. Is Joe Denley coming out? Well, there's movement. There is movement on the bench.
There's someone pulling their trousers
Will
up.
Denley limp out to the middle to try and do something for Kent here?
He is.
I think he's going to.
He is. There's a man limping with pads on.
Well, Milnes has gone first ball of the final over. 171 for 9.
Can we see a number 6 on the back?
Well, and if anyone's coming up padded up, it will be, Is he? He's just trying to...
He's limping.
Well, this is a heck of an effort from
round
Joe
of
Denley.
applause. Everybody could hear us in the crowd. A round of applause for Joe Denley.
He's coming out to the middle. Is he coming out with the runner? I think he is indeed.
Yep.
Looks like Harry Finch alongside him. No, this is quite something from Joe Denley, who's going to play off one leg. They need, I think they realise, Kent, this as well. This is last hurrah probably for their qualification for the quarterfinals as well at this point. They can only finish 6 wins and 6 defeats after this. If they win the remaining 2 games, that probably won't be enough to finish 3rd anyway. But Denley will come out. This is quite something. Doesn't know anybody anything from a Kent point of view, Joe Denley. But went off early on in the Hampshire innings. Having been hit by a rocket of a cover drive from Joe Weatherly and a huge swelling on his right shin. Somehow, this is a very long, slow walk from Joe Denley, because it is taking him this long just to get to the striker's end. And in some ways, you'd think 20 or 5.
And if you've got a knackered leg,
the
last person you'd want to be facing is the 90-odd miles an hour of Sonny Baker.
It's a very good point.
I just hope he doesn't get hit on the pads.
It's top marks for gallantry. You do wonder about the sense in this, but good on you, Joe Denley.
Yeah.
Getting out there for the cause. But Baker could finish this off here. Denley limping. Baker striding in to try and win this one. I've bowled him! It's 2 in 2 to finish for Sonny Baker to finish off Kent. Probably finish their hopes of qualifications for the quarterfinals as they win it by 19 runs here. Hampshire Hawks at the Utilita Bowl. And for Hampshire, it's another victory towards their qualification for the quarters, and perhaps yet another finals day, Sanjay.
Yeah, fantastic performance by Hampshire here. They've dismantled a Kent side that started off so well when Daniel Bell Drummond, when Muyeye and Jack Crawley were going strong. But one by one, the Hampshire bowlers and the Hampshire fielders took Kent apart to bowl them all out for 171. Handshakes all round, and rightly so. The Hampshire fielders are going up to Joe Denley and congratulating him, and congratulating for his bravery. But what good bowling at the end by Baker. Death bowling. It ended up with 4 for 25 off his 3.2 overs. Scott Curry also 3 for 30. At a time at the beginning where their pace bowling looked like it was going to be taken apart, Andrew Neil came on and brought the game back. And at the end, Curry and Baker have won the game for Hampshire.
Yes, indeed. Big victory for Hampshire, paying Kent back for beating them at Canterbury. As I said, for Kent, I'm not sure where their qualification hopes go from here. Very, very unlikely to make it. But for Hampshire, top of the table, they will carry on at the top of the South East group, and hopefully towards Edgbaston in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, it's a win by 19 runs here at the Utilita Bowl for Kent supporters. Now we will return you to our normal programming for the afternoon. My thanks to Sanjay and to the team here who've been fantastic hosts. But from a Kent point of view, as we return them on DAB to our other programming, it is defeat for the Spitfires by 19 runs.